Okay. First things first, let me just make sure the stream didn't switch itself to unlisted. And it didn't. That looks fine by me. I should just get this started sooner or later. Alright, so I basically just installed the new mod assets and scripts RPA files. It was just 2 files. They're basically just all the game assets and scripts compiled into these RPA files. You need something to unpack them, otherwise you can't view them. But you don't need to unpack them to actually play the mod, so I'm basically just going to actually use this save file where I last left off, because even though I just swapped out some mod assets and scripts, like, I didn't touch the save data, so, like, my mod folder, it just basically remembered that I last saved right before the scene where the agents go after the main character for whatever reason. And I guess right now we're gonna find out why. We have orders to go after main character, MC, level engine, or whatever you called him. They break into his house. They break at least 2 doors in his house. And then main character basically kills the entire squad. Oh, welcome back, physicist. Nothing, stream actually just started. Oh yeah, this is the spec ops that somebody sent after him. But honestly, we have no idea why the spec ops would go after him. The only person I know who has that ability is Julia. Okay, so here's the rest of the mod. You really didn't miss anything, I just started. So we just beat the shit out of this squad. And then I sit down on the couch and rest my head in my hands, my elbows propping me up. Hundreds of scenarios and questions run through my mind as I reflect on what just happened. While overanalyzing each of them, I lift my head up and reach into my pocket to retrieve my commission phone. Flipping it open, I stare at the screen while keeping absolutely silent, feeling almost as if making any noise will set my phone off. Oh, is that an avatar with a witch hat on it? Nice. Looks cute. I want to take a closer look at the avatar quickly. Wow, 3.2k subscribers. And the channel doesn't even upload. That's unusual. After a few minutes of allowing myself to calm down and stabilizing my heart rate, I stand up and straighten my shirt. What am I going to do with you? Peering at my unconscious opponent, I reach up and rub my chin as I contemplate. Killing him seems like a little much, considering I don't know what the hell's going on, but leaving him alive poses an immediate threat to myself. Whatever, I might as well return this dog to his owner. Stepping over him, I casually walk over to my closet, open and rummage through a box. What are the plastics for? Turn him over onto his stomach. Grabbing both of his arms, I position them against his back and use the pieces of plastic to zip tie them together. I do the same with his ankles. Once he's secured, I drag him with a relative ease to my back door, dropping him against the concrete outside like a sack of expired potatoes. 2 of his teammates lie face first on the ground behind him. So are they dead or just basically unconscious? After retrieving his corpse and dropping it against the others, I grab my commission phone and dial a number, my irritation rising steadily. Hello? Come get your dogs, Julia. They failed. What? You heard me. What the hell are you on about, level engine? I'm not in the mood for her to play dumb with me. I thought I could trust you, Julia. What? I'm looking at 3 dead and 1 unconscious deck agents here. Are you serious? Where are you? I'm at home, right where you sent them. I didn't send them. Where the hell did you get that idea from? Stop playing dumb. I'm being serious. Why would I send anyone after you? That's what I want to know. I'm going to come over. You better. I still need something done about the trash that's in front of me. I'll be there in 20. I guess while I wait for the woman to arrive and start talking, I'll clean up a bit. Of course, they are just as I suspected. Unmarked 5.56 times 45 millimeters. I don't really handle guns, so I can't read this naturally. Like, then again, I don't keep up with crime dramas either, really. Unmarked 5.56 times 45 millimeter M995. I've never used this munition at all. Jesus, you boys brought out the armor-piercing rounds on me. What were you expecting? For me to be on a plate carrier or something? Flicking one of the rounds up into the air like a coin, I catch it with my palm and pocket it. Next, I place each of the firearms down next to the deceased agents and walk back inside. Okay, so 3 dead and 1 unconscious. And my door is almost completely busted off of its hinges. It hangs just barely from the top hinge. That's gonna be a good bit of work just to repair. Ugh. Turning around on my heel, I walk into the kitchen and grab a glass of water, downing it in a matter of seconds. When Julia gets here, I need to be prepared just in case she comes with several others who plan to bring me down. But she could also be ballsy enough to try and come on her own. Good thing I have a backup plan ready. What in the living hell? Julia cautiously steps through the front doorway, paying extra attention to the damage done. She glances at me while she walks into the living room, an extremely profound expression of pure shock on her face. Okay, so that's who you're gonna bet. That maybe Natsuki's father actually does have some connection with the agency. That's what I'm expecting to have happen, is that her father has connections with the agency, and he's basically trying to use these connections to basically have MC taken out. But it's just a guess. What the fuck? She turns around and stares directly into my eyes, red-faced. Julia, put your gun down onto the couch. What? I said put your goddamn gun on the couch! I don't have mine with me. Bullshit, you always have it on you. Stop lying to me. Fine. Julia reaches into the small of her back and pulls out a small handgun, tossing it away from her onto the couch. This is for my own safety. What is going on? Why are they here? Funnily enough, I was about to ask you that same question. I'm not following you. What are they here for? Either asset recovery or destruction. You can't be serious. Julia, who has the authorization to send in a team like this? Division chiefs. And what are you? Are you saying that I did this? No, I'm trying to say that Donald Trump did this. Yes, I'm saying it was you. Level engine, I did not do this. She stands in the middle of the living room, unable to move. The only person in this entire division class who has the ability to send in a deck is you. You have to trust me. I didn't do this. Why did I even consider such an idea? I don't know. You tell me. You need to trust me on this. It's hard for me to trust you right now. The cards are just not in your favor. Clever pun, but I had no knowledge of this. If they were sent, it was without my knowledge or authorization. I can't even think of a reason why this would happen unless he went code 3. Funny, I don't remember doing that at all. Please, Ledwidge, I need you to trust me on this. I'm just as blindsided as you are. However, I can sense that even the smooth talking just feels different. Find out why the fuck this happened, you'll regain my trust. Until then, I won't be giving you the opportunity to put a knife in my back. I understand. Can I at least get a sit rep? We have a team of 5-digit Central Branch Special Operations deck agents here. Their objective was either asset recovery or destruction, and I was the targeted individual. All of them were hostile and had poor trigger discipline, however, 3 were neutralized immediately after entry. The final member is alive and unconscious, their team leader. His designated code is 54212 Agent Williams, leader of the Central Branch's Special Operations Division. He refused to provide information after being restrained and was incapacitated as a result. They are equipped with fully automatic assault firearms, chambered in hyperlethal class ammunition. So I'd say it was safe for me to assume there was no peaceful resolution to their objective. There's no reason why you would attempt a peaceful resolution for asset recovery and bring hyperlethal ammunition. Jesus Christ, what a mess. Julia examines the bodies for a few minutes while I lean against the wall and look up into the sky. My eyelids begin to feel like they have weights on them, making it harder and harder to keep them open. After today, I'm extremely exhausted, and the fact that both the entrances to my home are busted. It's going to be a long night. Julia stands up and looks back at me. Her eyes meeting mine, she conveys a tone of concern with her gaze. What are you looking at, woman? Are you hurt at all? A bruise here and there, but other than that, I'm fine. I see. Well, I apologize about this. I'm going to find out who ordered this and why. See to it that you do. Now please do something about this. I point at the bodies in the unconscious man on the ground. I'm tired and I wouldn't mind some rest right now. I can get you a hotel room for the night. No need, just get me 2 tarps and a staple gun. Why? I'm going to tarp up both of the doors and sleep in the living room. Are you serious? No! I can't let you do that. You're wide open for anyone to just come inside. Not if you get the right tarp. Green high-density polyethylene tarps are good for element protection and are extremely noisy. So if anyone happens to disturb either of them, I will hear and be ready. That's not a bad idea, but are you sure? You're absolutely sure you want to do that? I don't really wish to do anything else. And I know for a fact that I'll have a harder time sleeping in a hotel room after this. Well, I guess I can't rebut. I'll make a call and get a team out here. Julia places her phone against the rear, and I go back inside, leaving through my front door. I probably shouldn't stay around if there are more of them coming. In the event that others try to repeat what those idiots did, it's smart for me to stay away until everything's done. It usually doesn't take long, so I'll just take a walk for a bit. Have I ever browsed this subreddit before? Actually, no. Is it actual smart people or is it satire? My phone buzzes, and when I check it, it's a text message from Natsuki. Hey, are you up? Yeah, what's up? I'm having some trouble sleeping. What are you up to? Oh, nothing, just taking a walk. This late at night? Someone is going to think you're up to no good, mister. Me? No, I'm an angel. What are you talking about? Shut up, dummy. Anyway, I was wondering if I could come over tomorrow. I don't see why not. What time are you going to come by? As soon as my dad goes to work. Just send me a text when you're on your way. Okay. Try and get some sleep. Night, dummy. People who boast about quote-unquote being smart. Let me guess, they're actually not. Walking through what is left of my front door, Julia sits down on the couch rubbing her temples. Got it all taken care of? Just the cleanup. No one had any idea why they were here. I'm going to get the field office tomorrow to get some answers manually. However, I did manage to get you those tarps you asked for. Thank you. What's your plan for tomorrow? Replace my doors. What else am I going to do? You going to be able to handle that yourself? I don't see any reason why I couldn't. You know, unless we have a repeat of tonight. We'd better not, I swear to God. I kind of feel bad for Julia, but for all I know, this could be a front and she could be faking all of her emotions. So until she's able to prove otherwise, I have to play it safe and assume she had a hand in this. I know Julia very well, and when she's forced to do something, she can't really do otherwise. And an order like this is not something that is handed out with an optional tag. You either do it or you face severe repercussions. Listen, I assume you're stressed and exhausted from this. Just a teensy little bit. Get out and go home. You're going to need rest for tomorrow anyway. She's told me several times before to never comment on whether a girl looks tired, but right now, I couldn't even give an inch of consideration. I lean back against the wall and shoot my own gaze back at her. For a solid minute. If you weren't trained to spot it, you would miss the intense battle going on between us. Invisible bullets flying just barely past each of our heads, originating from our pupils. When the minute passes, Julia finally looks away, her face flushed while accepting defeat. I guess you're right. You're gonna be safe, right? I don't want to wake up tomorrow and find out you're no longer with us. Well, I can promise you that won't happen. Just focus on finding out why this even happened. I'll handle things here. At least get some rest. Then I just put the tarps up and then get some rest, right? Like, this one guy said he wasn't going to help his partner with the group project because the guy who was asking for the help, had an intellect lower than him. Because the guy who was asking for the help had an intellect lower, said he wasn't going to help his partner. That's not very smart either. I placed both doors against the kitchen wall, heaving a sigh as I do. The doors didn't look as heavy when I got them from the hardware store. But the damn things are like mahogany or something. They're unexpectedly heavy. However, it's actually good. It means they're more heavy duty. The only downside is having to carry both of them all the way back home myself. In hindsight, I could have planned better, but whatever. I walk into the kitchen and grab a moderately sized black bag that contains various tools. Rustling through it to find the appropriate drill bits, I hear someone approach the front doorway. What the heck? Natsuki walks through the tarp and gives me a concerned gaze. Oh yeah, about that. What happened? Natsuki places both her hands on her hips and gives me a look as if I'm about to be scolded by like a misbehaving child. Ah, well, you see, there was a huge storm last night and it blew my doors off. What, was it something I said? She draws near and grasps my left earlobe with her index finger and thumb. Hey, what's this for? I'm your girlfriend now. I have to keep you in your place. I don't respond to her and only give a smug smile as I reach over to her and grab her earlobe. Ack! Hey! I'm your boyfriend now. I gotta entertain myself somehow. We both stand there holding onto each other's ears and staring at each other. After a moment, we both just start snickering and laughing, letting each other go. Hehe, you're so silly, it's kinda cute. Says the small and fearless female who dares to take on a lion like myself. What can I say? I managed to tame one. Be careful though, this one still has some fight left in him. Oh? How about now? You play dirty. Natsuki's cute giggles help relieve my stress from last night. But unfortunately I have noticed the two doors leaning against the wall and remember I still have to put both of them up. After patting Natsuki on the back a few times, she lets go. So, are you replacing your doors from the storm? Yep. Cool, how can I help? You don't need to help, I got it. No, I'm helping, deal with it. If you say so. Next I grab the tarp covering the front doorway and take it down. Natsuki and I grab the first door and position its hinges on the frame. So you know how to use a drill? Of course I do, dummy. Why wouldn't I? You'd be surprised how many people don't know how to use something as simple as a drill. Well, it's just like a gun, right? Point and press the trigger? Essentially, yeah. You align the head of the drill and pull the trigger. She grabs a screw from a box on the ground and presses it head onto the drill bit, allowing the magnetic tip to lock them together. While she positions the screw in the correct spot, I carefully watch her movements. Alright, now pull the trigger slow. Natsuki full throttles the drill, causing the screw to dig into the wood and lose its alignment, which startles her. Ah! Lee. She gradually turns her head to look at me. Don't say anything. She grabs the screw, pulls it out of the wall, and tries again. Just start pressing it very slowly. As the nail bores into the wood more and more, then you can pick up speed. The screw is slowly driven into the frame and hinge. After about a quarter of the way in, Natsuki steadily speeds up the drill. And before I knew it, she was done with the first screw. There! Good job. Now you just got 3 more to do for this first hinge. But also, please speed it up this time. This door isn't necessarily light. Oh, come on, you're a strong guy. You can handle this. And in no time, the front door is fully secured to the frame and operational. Finally. To be completely honest, this does look better than your old one. Right. I was meaning to replace it at some point. I guess now is just the perfect opportunity. Right. I know she's curious about how both of my doors got destroyed in a matter of a day, but I can't really tell the full story of why it happened. The last thing she needs right now is to worry about anyone but herself. I can handle any threat that comes at me. Love Lenshin. If something bad was to happen to you, would you tell me? That's an oddly specific question to ask. Why is that? It's just something to have on my mind. Not like I care or anything. I just don't want anything to happen to you. Closing the front door, I turn around to face Natsuki and I look into her eyes. Nothing bad is going to happen to me. I can't afford to let anything bad happen to me. Do you want to know why? Because I have to protect someone very close to me. Well, I'm sure that certain someone is very grateful for you. More than you know. I'm sure she is. Now come on, stop being a creep and looking into my eyes like that. If you say so. Come on, let's get the back door up now. Ha, I told you that was going to be quick. Yeah, you managed to not screw up. You're such a dork. Natsuki smirks as she gently hits my arm. What's next? That's it. We did all that was needed. Thanks for your help, beautiful. Natsuki's face flushes completely and she looks away, frantically trying to cover it. I don't know what you're talking about. Stop being a dummy. I don't know how you could call me that anyway. I just witnessed with my own 2 eyes. You handling a powerful piece of machinery while putting up a heavy-ass door. To me, it shows that you're more than just a pretty girl who can make a mean cupcake. Well, it's not like I do that intentionally just to impress you. I mean, helping you with the door, yeah, but I didn't mean to say that out loud. Did you say something? No. I winked to her almost as if to give a yeah, I know what you're getting at. Okay, smartass, do you have anything else planned? I don't believe I do. Good, because I have plans for us. Come on. Finally, go to sit down on the bed. Whoa, okay, Natsuki, listen. Usually with this stuff, I'm the dominant one. Hmm? Don't get such pervy thoughts. I was just going to put on more Sailor Moon for us to watch. Oh, okay. You're gross. Guilty as charged, but watching that show with you for a while doesn't sound bad. Are you starting to like it? Honestly, I have no idea what the hell is going on, but I think I'm piecing things together. Well, I hope so. I don't share my anime and manga with just anyone, you know? I really do appreciate it, even if it's something like this. I still do enjoy the time we spent together. I swear to God, every time I stop plushing, you just keep it going. And then we watch some anime. So if I heard of a YouTuber called Poofy sure. Not at all. While we both watch the anime together, I try to stay engaged and ask questions to understand a bit more. Natsuki tries her best to remain patient with me and answers my questions. Eventually she yawns and rests her head on my shoulder. Luckily for me, I was waiting for this. I gently grasp her shoulders and shift her so she sits in front of me, leaning her back so she can use me as a rest. Uh-huh. You'll be more comfortable here. Plus, my shoulder kind of hurts, so having you rest your head on it doesn't feel very good. Oh, I'm sorry. If I had known, I wouldn't have... Don't worry about it, Natsuki. Let's just keep watching, okay? Thank you for this. It makes me feel safe. If you like angry gamers, he's definitely one. What's the craziest thing he's ever done, by any chance? Did he do anything like just break his controller like that one frame perfection clip? I'm not used to it, but I'm gonna limit it. If she feels safe, I'll continue to support her this way. Because I mean, I won't deny that just being able to be this close to someone feels nice. Wow. And a few Wii remotes. So he plays a lot of Wii games, I take it. That's a different story for a different time. After an hour, I hear soft, gentle coos coming from Natsuki. When I look down to check on her, her head is tilted to the side ever so slightly, with her eyes closed and her mouth agape. She managed to fall asleep while cuddled right into me. She must be pretty comfortable then. I take a mental note of where we are in the anime, because I know she's going to want to rewatch the stuff she missed. Next, I kind of do something I never really expected to. I wrap both of my arms around Natsuki and carefully hold her in my arms while she rests. She definitely looks at peace right now, which I assume she doesn't get much of when she rests at home. For good reason, too. The image of Natsuki's father flashes through my mind and instantly makes my blood start to heat up. But I manage to calm myself down before I get too worked up. Right now she needs me, and I will do whatever it takes just to make her happy and safe. And she needs some actual rest right now. Leaning back against the wall with the pink-haired angel in my arms, I close my own eyes. I'm pulled out of my comfortable rest by Natsuki shifting around. Opening my eyes and shielding them from the orange glow of the sunset outside, I peer down at her. Level engine? Hey, how'd you sleep? I fell asleep? What time is it? It's a little after 5:30, don't panic. Oh, thank God. I thought it was past my curfew. My dad wants me home at 7 tonight. You usually leave around 6:30, so I would have woken you up beforehand. Darn, I was really having a good nap, too. You looked like it. Did I fall asleep on you? Yeah, and pretty fast, too. You must have been really comfortable. Huh? I wasn't comfortable. I was just tired. What, did helping me put 2 doors up tire out that much? You better get rid of that smile before you lose your lips. I half considered making a snarky response, but hold back on it. Well, now that you're awake, do you want anything to eat before I take you home? No, as much as I would like something, I need to save what appetite I do have when Dad makes supper. What do you mean by that? Don't worry about it. It isn't your business anyway. Natsuki, is he feeding you? Mind your own business. Natsuki, if he isn't feeding you, I need to know. He still feeds me, but has been less and less lately. Last night he told me if I want to eat more, I had to run to you and beg for it. Jesus. I didn't want to tell you about it because it's my problem to deal with. I can handle it myself. And how do you plan on handling starving yourself? I already buy Natsuki lunch and snacks at school, but when she's home, there's very little I can do. She's rejecting my offer of food right now because she's afraid of what her father would do to her, and also probably her own pride. She was extremely hesitant about me even getting her food at school. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to win this argument. Natsuki must have read my face as I was thinking, because she approaches me and stares up into my eyes. I'll be okay, I promise. I know you will. It just still angers me you have to deal with that. Listen, dummy, I've been through worse. Well, we have a little bit before you need to leave. Do you want to backtrack to the episodes of what we missed while we napped? No, I have a better idea. She opens the notebook to a random page with writing on it. I catch a glimpse of writing that piques my interest, but before I can read more of it, Natsuki slams her hand down over the page covering it. No, don't read that! What was that about? Don't worry about it. Alright. Natsuki brandishes the pen above the notebook and makes eye contact with me. I want us to write something together, okay? I'll show you what I had in mind. Before long, Natsuki's signature cat meow alarm goes off, indicating that it's time for her to leave. Making sure her stuff is neatly put away and foregoing her inspection of it, we head out. While Natsuki and I walk along the surprisingly clean concrete sidewalk, my commission phone vibrates in my pocket. Hello? Level Engine, I'm going to be heading to the field office tonight to question Williams. I want you to come with me to personally observe. Julia wants me to come down to the office after what happened last night. Big red flag. I'm not comfortable at all heading down there given the circumstances. And I'm not quite sure I'm able to trust Julia that much. This could be a trap. I'll just have to navigate this carefully. When? When are you free? I'm walking Natsuki home right now. After that would be fine. Alright, call me when that's done. Who was that? It was Julia. She wants to run a few errands with me for a little while. Oh, that sounds boring. It's sure to be. Thank God you have me around. Oh? Why's that? Dummy. You shouldn't ask why a girl says something like that. Sometimes the cool guys have some pretty cool girls with them, you know? Did you just inadvertently call me cool? Shut up, I'm trying to compliment you. Right, my apologies. You do make my dreary and dull life much more bearable. This girl brings out some emotions that are an immense struggle to suppress. But the situation with her father, I don't know. It brings out a whole new side of me. Such a sweet, innocent girl, being dealt a bad hand of cards like I have. I won't let her become like me. That is a promise I can make for myself. Best for me to stay out of sight while she's walking up the sidewalk. She was extremely against it at first, but later came to understand why. Making sure Natsuki's father can't see me. Had fun with the doors, we trade hugs, so on and so forth. So, what's gonna happen when we question Williams? No, so we're going to get like another flashback, and then we're gonna go and question this Williams guy that tried to kill us. You're going to stay down here from now on. Talk back and then you will get another punch to the stomach. Do you understand me? I can barely breathe and I cannot stop coughing. Ah! Father once again punches me in the middle of my stomach. His fist is so huge that it makes contact with the majority of my stomach, hitting me forcefully as a hammer. Oh no, I'm gonna throw up. Through the blinding darkness of the basement, I can practically see the burning fury in his eyes. My blood runs cold. He grabs onto my hair and pulls me up by it, so I'm just barely hanging off the ground. The blows to my stomach send pain coursing through my body, swiftly weakening me. This was a brand new outfit, and you just soiled it. Thanks, kid. He slaps me and simultaneously releases me, sending me crashing to the ground. My left cheekbone stings as if it's broken. My already darkened vision seemingly grows darker into a black that not even light can penetrate. The pain is too much. It hurts. I didn't mean to throw up on you. Every breath I take makes it harder for me to stay conscious. I can feel myself falling asleep. Jesus, was any of that necessary? I heard that from upstairs. Don't worry about it. He just decided to ruin my clothes. You made sure not to hit him near the kidney or bladder, right? We really can't afford to have him piss blood for the tests. It'll screw up the results. Do you think I'm stupid? No, sir. Stop questioning me, especially about my son. What I do with him is my business and mine alone. I understand. I'll be upstairs when you need me. I'll go up there right now and we can finish up. Okay, so I guess now we're gonna basically leave for the office. Julia meets me outside my house, the headlights of her car illuminating the street. The moon above us just barely lights up the land with an eerie blue glow. During the drive to the office, Julia gives me a rundown of what is planned for the night. Alright, so I'm going to check us in the medical wing. From there, I'm going to guide you to an observation room, so you can watch from behind one-way glass. That will prevent the agent I'm questioning from panicking at the sight of you. What are you planning to ask him? Just the usual interrogatory questions. You know, why was deployed, who sent them, who his CO was, etc. Also, I'm going to need to take your gun. Hell no. You do understand that bringing weapons in a medical wing is strictly prohibited, right? I'm still not fully keen on coming here with you, and now you're going to be taking one of my most valuable means of defense. You'll be fine, I promise. Very hesitantly, I place my handgun to the center console of Julia's car. Julia and I walk through the medical wing of the field office. Looks exactly like the hospital we just visited earlier when Natsuki ended up there. The sounds of our footsteps reverberate and give the already eerie atmosphere more depth. While we travel through the clean hallway, I look into the various rooms we pass. Say what you want about hospitals. I hate them a lot, but I definitely hate being here more than anything. Being around my own company isn't that bad because I'm used to them, but in medical bays and wings that are set up by my company, it's a whole new ordeal. Not to mention, I'm potentially in the den of my enemies. Go in here, quickly. Julia points to an unmarked access control door to our left. She badges me into it and keeps walking forward. I gently open the door and walk inside to find a darkened room with a single one-way window on the north wall. It sits completely pitch black, indicating that it's not been enabled yet. I take a minute to look around the room and notice a plastic table and several metallic chairs folded against the wall. It looks like this room hasn't been used for a while, or everything was neatly put away in preparation for my arrival. So I grab one of the chairs. Inside of the room is a hospital bed covered by a privacy curtain. Crossing my arms, I keep my eyes focused on Julia in the room. After a minute, I get a text from Julia. I'm gonna start now, you ready? Williams, we need to talk. She opens the curtains and reveals what's behind it. The agent lies in the bed completely motionless and pale. Around his neck is a dark and discolored line. Son of a bitch. He was garroted? A surge of caution goes through me and I immediately stand up, knocking my chair over. Julia looks around the hospital room and back to the window. Son of a bitch. This means... I quickly get to the door, opening it. Before I have a chance to fully get away, Julia runs after me. I quickly and calmly get to the front desk, check out before Julia has the chance to interrupt, and exit the front doors of the office. Speeding up my pace down the stairs, I try and get as much distance away from Julia as I can. Realizing I no longer have my handgun, I act as calmly as possible around the other people wandering through the campus. When I reach the middle of the parking lot, Julia calls out behind me, "Level engine!" I turn around and watch her run up to me. I prepare myself in case she attacks and raise my hand slightly. You need to keep your distance from me, Julia. Level engine, I know this looks bad. You're damn right it looks bad. Tell me the truth, Julia. Did you bring me here to take me in? What? No! My trust in you was shaky at first, now it's... I trail off my sentence. Julia looks back at me disheartened. It doesn't look good for you right now. I get that, but you have to understand that this is a surprise to me too. Julia, no offense, but so far you have failed to regain my trust. How can I? It's not even that easy to gain in the first place. Julia, you're the only person here with the ability to send a team after me. You're one of the only people who would have contact with the surviving agents and our only hope of information. I'm looking out for myself here, and right now I can't trust you. How am I to know that you aren't feigning this to take me in? Level engine, I don't want anything to happen to you. Why do you think I'm trying my best on this? To cover your own ass! You mean so much to me. I wouldn't do or allow anything to happen to you. I've always had your back and I will still continue to. I stand my ground and quickly contemplate what I'm going to do. Julia does sound genuine, but it's still hard for me to trust this situation. Level engine, if I want to bring you in, I would have come straight out with it and told you. I don't like beating around the bush. Give me my gun back. I'm going home. You take care of that mess in there. To show that I won't harm her, I release the magazine and pull back the slide, emptying the round from the chamber. I'll be taking the bus home. You have fun here. So still, nothing on what's actually happening. Besides just losing more trust in Julia. Level Engine, you're early! And then suddenly we're just back at the club room. After that event. Yeah, did your girls get everything ready? Of course, Monica and I brought stuff from home today. Perfect, thank you girls. Both of them nod happily. I slide my backpack strap off my arm and place it on one of the nearby desks. I unzip it and retrieve a few items I stashed away inside. While Yuri and Monica examine what I brought, I look around the room for Sayori. Is Sayori already out? Yeah, she's going to the lockers with Natsuki. Perfect. All this looks so good, I'm kind of envious. This might actually make for a good social event for the club. I'll keep that in mind for the future. Alright, so let me take a look at all of this. Monica and Yuri grab some plastic containers from their desks and Sayori's, gingerly placing them down next to mine. I open all of the containers and start to combine them. And at no time at all, everyone in the club has contributed to a bento box for Natsuki. The door of the club room opens and closes, revealing Natsuki and Sayori. Natsuki looks at us curiously, and Sayori beams brighter than the sun. When the girls and I discussed this last night over text, Sayori seemed especially excited, however. She only brought yogurt because we can't trust her to cook all that well. Apparently she nearly burned her house down once just by boiling water. I don't even know how you do that. Nonetheless, I'm still grateful she pitched in and helped. When all of us make a group effort for Natsuki, it shows her that we are here for her and we do care about her. Plus, if her father is feeding her less and less, we can't allow her to suffer. So I might have just ripped a muscle in my neck. How do you do that? Surprise! What is this? Is that for me? Yep. We all decided to do something special for you. She looks at me and I can see a glimmer of concern in her eyes. Thank you, guys. Wow, this smells really good! I walk over to her and wrap my arm around her shoulders. She looks up at me and tries to hide her smile. Leaning my head down towards her, I whisper into her ear. You deserve a good meal. All of us want to help, so don't feel bad. I know, I appreciate this a lot, thank you. Next, I feel a little peck against my cheek. Natsuki quickly turns her head away and hides her face from me. Sayori and Yuri are looking elsewhere and didn't see what just happened, but Monica did. She giggles to herself silently while staring directly at me. I don't know what you're laughing about over there, Monica. Nothing happened. What? No, I was laughing at Level Engine. Huh? Me? Why? Your face turned so red. Oh my god, did it? The sudden attack on me has made me extremely self-conscious. Am I really blushing? No, that can't be right. I don't blush. Natsuki faces me again, their mouth immediately forms into a devilish smirk. Oh my god, Monica's right! Fine, you got me. I need to get a little blood pumping anyway. Alright. You two, enough of the cute couple stuff. Huh? We have to start the club now. I turn to look at the door and view our unexpected guest. But the figure that appears in my vision immediately causes my stomach to drop and my posture to stiffen. Natsuki? Wait, what's her father doing at the club room? The girls stop talking and an intense silence fills the room. Matsumoto looks directly at Natsuki, ignoring the rest of us in the room. Dad? What is that? It's food. Natsuki, I asked you a question. Nothing. Are you lying to me again? Show me what you're hiding behind the backpack, now. It adds to the intensity of the situation. Natsuki reluctantly pulls her backpack away to reveal the bento box. Matsumoto walks over to it and grabs it off the desk. So you're eating here at school and spoiling your appetite for dinner later? No. No, so you just don't want the food I give you then, is that it? No. So what is it then, Natsuki? Answer me when I'm speaking to you. Natsuki squeaks quietly and flinches when he raises his voice. I can feel my face grow hot as my anger skyrockets. He's just belittling her right here in front of everyone. Monica looks back and forth between me and Matsumoto. I can tell that she realizes something bad is going to happen if this continues. Yuri and Sayori sit in their seats, petrified. Monica scoots her chair back from her desk and looks at Matsumoto. We all had a little picnic at lunch earlier today so we could discuss stuff for our club. Natsuki wasn't there, so we brought her some food here so she could have it while we did our club meeting. Matsumoto's eyes stab into Monica like razor-sharp blades. At least someone here can actually give me an answer. I guess the rest of you are useless, just like my daughter. Useless? I finally speak to the man as he looks at me. How is she useless? Because she isn't a monster like you? Such accusations. Be careful, you might hurt my feelings. He looks back at Natsuki and grabs her arm. Come, Natsuki, we're leaving. What? No, I want to stay here until the club is over. Are you talking back to me? We have things to do, and I will not let you disrespect me in public. He practically drags Natsuki from her seat. Monica stands up and walks towards him, just barely standing in front of him near the door. Sir, can she stay for just a little longer? We're almost done with our meeting anyways. Get out of my way. He places his free hand on Monica's bicep and pushes her to the side, causing her to stumble and crash to the floor. Monica! Monica! Dad, what are you doing? I stare up at Matsumoto and I can feel my blood starting to boil. He merely gives me a smug smile while glancing down at us. This man, he's going to pay for this. I pat Monica's shoulder and start to stand up, but she reaches over and grabs my wrist. Level Engine, don't do it. This isn't the time or the place for this. I just can't start a fight here on school grounds with Natsuki's father. Not only does that implicate me as the aggressor, it will result in severe ramifications. But the mere fact they assaulted Monica should not go unaddressed either. Come on, Natsuki, we're leaving. Matsumoto and I look at each other one final time before he leaves, forcefully closing the door behind himself and Natsuki. I help Monica back up onto her feet and I look around the room, my anger trying to get the best of me. Lovelinch, I understand you're upset. I'm more than just upset, Monica. But you were right, this is not the time or place for me to do anything stupid. Sayori and Yuri come up and stand by us as well. Thank you, girls. Natsuki doesn't deserve any of the shit she has to put up with. The mere fact that she has to be around him would be too much for anyone else to handle. She holds her own, which I admire, but I'm just afraid something bad is going to happen soon. Yeah, I fear that too. There isn't really anything we can do either. It makes me feel useless. Natsuki is an awesome girl and she deserves so much more. We might not agree on some things, but I care about her immensely and I value her friendship. Seeing her deal with the adversity she's facing, it crushes me. I break the tension with new resolve. I will see to it that she escapes this hell. I may not have been able to do anything today, but there will be a time and there will be a place. When that time comes, I want you to give him hell, Level Engine. He deserves everything that's coming to him. Monica's stern face and strong message send a surge of motivation to my veins. It clouds over my worries, fears, and hesitations like an incoming storm. So with that, I think I can continue with this. I grip my left hand to a fist, remove my right hand from the wall, and turn around to face the club room. Julia's office. Miyuki walks into my office, carrying a folder I've been waiting for. Here you are, ma'am. Thank you, Miyuki. So this entire document is for 4219? Correct. I still haven't been able to come up with anything on the event that happened a few days ago. Our only lead was Williams, and he was killed before we could get anything out of him. Has Internal Affairs contacted you regarding that? Just to question what happened. No other contact has been made. This is really stressing you out, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Mainly because it's caused Level Engine to lose all trust in me. What? Really? Yeah, he thinks I sent the deck team out on him. Ah, I see. I can kind of see how he came to that conclusion. It's just a really shitty turn of events here. I thought I could regain it by having him oversee the questioning. Yeah, that didn't work out too well. What is your plan now? Just pace through documents filed in the last 7 days, you know, maybe try and spot a few irregularities. That's a good plan. You look like you have something. Yes, I do, ma'am. Permission to speak freely? Take 4219 into custody. You're serious? 100%. You're insane. There's no way in hell I'm doing that. I don't have anything to take him into custody for, and even if I did, he wouldn't come willingly. He doesn't have to come willingly. Take him forcefully. Do it in a manner that befits your nature, ma'am. As for the reason, simply state it as the code 3. I don't know, Miyuki. Allow me to ask. Do you have any other choice? Love Legends neighborhood. The quiet patter of my feet on the concrete sidewalk barely emanates out to the stagnant nighttime air. How long is this gonna be, out of curiosity? Yeah, I heard Chapter 5 of the Natsuki route was, like, super long. Thoughts race through my brain every minute of every hour. Several of them involve my hands around Matsumoto's throat. At first, I was all for allowing this to have a peaceful resolution, thinking maybe it would work out somehow. But the more I stand back and watch, the worse it gets. And he knows it too. He's taking a lot more enjoyment in tormenting his own daughter than I would have expected. Each time I look into her beautiful eyes, I can't help but see him stare back at me. After all, he is her father. This is getting to be too much right now. I shake my head to pull myself out of the unending abyss that is my consciousness currently. Lifting my head, I gaze into the night sky and take in the starlight that shines down on me. Pausing with my backpack slung behind my back, I take a few deep breaths in and out to calm myself. Natsuki will be fine. She's a strong girl. She's more than capable of keeping herself safe in this situation. I have other things I need to focus on too right now anyways. Then I start walking towards my home. Then I unlock the door. Taking my first step into my home, I sense another person close to me. Closing the door behind me, I notice that Julie is sitting in the middle of my living room, propped up against my couch. She looks up from the floor, gazing directly into my eyes with a look on her face I haven't seen in some time. It's almost as if her heart has been broken, like the time Ashley died. Julia, what are you doing here? I just wanted to see you in person. I don't like the way she said that. Love Legend, I'm sorry. As she says that, several other agents who are dressed in black suits and fitted with earpieces and vests emerge from the darkened corners of my home. They converge on me, faces stern and hands on holstered handguns. Please don't resist. They won't hesitate to kill you. So you did betray me after all. I'm really sorry, Love Legend. I try to squirm and thrash my arms out to disorient them, but it's not working. I manage to look up and into Julia's blank eyes. She stares down back at me before turning away. And then we get tased. After a few seconds, I go limp and I can feel my heart racing. Julia! Once more, my body tenses and I'm overwhelmed with extreme pain. When it stops, I use whatever energy I have left to kick my feet as hard as I can. My vision begins to tunnel and I feel my energy dissipate into thin air, leaving only my motionless body behind. I can't fight back anymore. She betrayed me. Unable to maintain the strength to keep my head lifted, I slowly lower it until my forehead gently rests against the ground. As I feel dizziness cover me and overwhelm my senses, I watch Julia walk away from me. Wake up. Wake up. I said wake up! Something slams to the side of my face, waking me up and causing me to lift my head and recoil. A blinding light shines down onto my face, which stings my eyes like sharpened needles. You're finally awake! Through the blinding light, I see a singular figure standing behind a metal desk across from me. My arms are restrained behind my back so tightly I can barely move them. An extreme ache radiates from my right side near the area of my kidney, which is where I remember being tased several times before losing consciousness. It kind of makes it hard to sit up straight, and my body naturally arches over to relieve the pain. 4219, you awake enough to hear me? Yes. We need to have a little talk. How is it that you're here with me today, Agent? I don't know, you tell me. Well, I'm not exactly sure. It's very rare, almost unheard of, to have a 4-digit declared a code 3. You're one of the best, so why would you go against us? That's the thing. I never did. This whole shit show started because of an undocumented raid against me by Central Special Operations. Currently really busy just trying to get through the story as quickly as possible because I really want to figure out how this ends. Apparently this guy's own agency has turned their back on him. Apparently no one has record of it at all, not even my own division chief. Like, this guy works for an agency, and they've essentially just betrayed him now. I hear a rumor of that, but it's only a rumor. Your Code 3 declaration came afterward. You killed several other agents, and that to me sounds more important. They attacked me! Stop giving me your victim bullshit and man up, kid. Accept the responsibility of your actions or you'll never grow as a person. I'll take from here. Yes, ma'am. The woman reveals herself as Julie's assistant, Miyuki Izaki. I've seen her a few times before while Julia briefed me on some assignments. She's a little shorter than me, about 5'7" with blue eyes, slightly tanned skin, and black-colored hair tied into a very neat ponytail. Her black suit clings to her body very well, contouring her bust, which would usually catch my eye a few times, much to Julia's chagrin. She clasps her hands together and rests on the top of the metal desk that separates us. This is supposed to be a game mod of Doki Doki Literature Club, but doesn't exactly look like one right now. We're currently in custody. This doesn't happen in your typical Doki Doki mod at all. This is essentially Doki Doki Literature Club if it was a crime drama. Very much inspired by like another visual novel called Fruits of Grisaya. Her gaze is professional and cold, as I would expect from a suit like her. I lean my head up and give her direct eye contact, remaining completely silent as I do. Hello, 4219. Do you know why you're here? You're Code 3. You were taken into custody as procedure would dictate. Procedure? That word seems to just be thrown around now these days. First, a deck team is sent to apprehend with no attainable authority. Then someone in here in this facility sounds like the only lead we have. Then my supervisor betrays me and brings me here. If any of this is procedure, then excuse my French, but you're an utter dumbass. I understand your frustration about the last couple of days' events. I would be as well, trust me. However, not only did you terminate several of your fellow agents, but you are also suspect in the murder of yet another agent. It's insane you would even think something like that. He was the only source of information I had on who sent the team out against me. He was also the only remaining agent on the team that opposed you, that caused damage to your home, that tried to attack you. Personally, I use Nestopia. You have more than enough reason to kill him in a revenge-fueled tirade. Have you even spoken to Julia at all about this? I was with her the entire night. We are well aware of your nature and what you're capable of. I look back down to the pristine concrete floor and away from Miyuki's piercing eyes. She's being extremely hostile, which is different from her nature that I observed previously. I'm essentially backed into a corner and I can't defend myself right now. I still fail to see how you can implicate me for this. I purposely left this agent alive so Julia could question him and get information out of him. If anyone had the opportunity to take him out, it was Julia. He was left alone in the room with him for several minutes before I even knew he was dead. There's also one other thing I want to discuss with you, 4219. We've received several reports of you performing unethical actions with a specific individual local to this area. What? It involves a young girl named Natsuki. What about her? I lift my head back up and look directly into her eyes, my sudden reaction making them widen a little. You are aware of the non-interference doctrine and the agent guidelines, right? Yes. Where an agent cannot interfere in local authorities' actions unless expressly permitted by important personnel. You know what that means, right? You cannot interfere in the police, government, or legislative processes in this local area. And I haven't. Quite the contrary. I have a name. Your name means nothing to me. You're an agent, and you will be referred to as such. Whatever you say, no digit. What does any of this have to do with Natsuki? She's my girlfriend and we go to school together. You're personally involved with this girl now. I don't see how she has anything to do with this. She doesn't know anything she shouldn't. You have to understand her position in this situation. We really can't take your word for it, especially under these pretenses. And Julia's on your side with this as well? Yes, she is. I'm the one questioning you because she asked for it. How could Julia do something like this? It was bad enough she betrayed me, but to drag Natsuki into this mess, it disgusts even me. A looming mixture of disappointment and despair overcast my mind, leaving me feeling distraught and helpless. With this heavy feeling weighing on my shoulders, I lean forward and bow my head. I lower my tone and quietly speak to Miyuki. What do you want from me? That will be discussed later on. Right now, we want you in custody. Please don't make things harder for us and resist. You're already given too much leeway as it is. Right. Listen, Miyuki. If Julia is truly done with me as an agent and wishes this approach, I won't fight her any further. Huh? But please do not involve Natsuki in this. She has no knowledge of anything I do and doesn't deserve to be caught up in this mess. Please. I can't guarantee it, but you should understand that. But I will make note of it and I'll forward it to Julia. Thank you, Miyuki. That's all I have for now. The agent who guarded the door before walks back over to the table. Look at you, the famous and reputable four-digit Reaper bowing his head in defeat. This is despicable. I thought you four digits are truly diehard to the core. I guess your reputation doesn't really reflect you. He places his hands on the table and continues to barrage me with insults. You sometimes have to sacrifice for someone you care about. Today I made that decision, and I'm willingly charging myself with that sacrifice. You're doing this for some chick in high school? What was her name again? Natsuki? The tales people tell about you made me apprehensive just to be in the same room with you as first. But seeing that nothing more than a walking fleshlight is enough to bring you down, I feel humiliated to admit I once feared you. He starts to walk behind me. It's no matter, though. You are a fearsome agent nonetheless. You deserve to go out respectfully. I can hear him shuffling through a suit pocket for something, when all of a sudden something wraps around my face and slides towards my throat. What the hell? Is this a wire? I quickly shove my chin into my upper chest and catch the wire just as it reaches it. Stop fighting at level edge, and it'll be over soon. I try my best to thrash around and get out of my restraints, but the cuffs just won't budge. Damn it. This isn't good. He's trying to garrote me, and I can't get my arms free. He pulls on the wire and digs it into my chin, sliding more and more toward my chest. If it gets into my chest, it'll slip under my chin and he'll have full access to my throat. I push the lower half of my jaw out as much as I can to keep tension on the wire so it doesn't slip. But my aggressor continues to apply pressure on the wire, stinging my chin as it digs in. I have to think of something fast before he gets the better of me. My fear skyrockets when he starts to pull on the wire with enough force to tip the chair I'm sitting on backward. I lunge my feet forward to keep me on the ground, but he starts pulling again just as quickly. You really want to go out fighting, don't you? I won't go out to the likes of you. All of a sudden, he releases the tension on the wire, causing my opposing force to send me lurching toward the table. The wire slides down just enough to get into my chin and make contact with the front of my throat. Haha, got you now. The wire is pulled back, and I feel it sting as it wraps around my throat, cutting off the blood circulation in my head and closing my airway. Shit, he managed to get me. I thrash my shoulders from left to right, desperately managing to loosen the man's grip on me. However, the writhing doesn't work to my favor, and I can feel my muscles start to burn from the lack of oxygen needed to fight back. Just stop fighting back, it'll be easier for you. The wire continues to dig into my throat, the stinging now evolving into tearing. Placing my feet against the ground in front of me, I launch myself up and throw the agent into the wall behind us. He pulls the wire downward, forcing my back to bend at an awkward and painful angle. God damn it. I'm not going to make it if I don't get out of this. Come on. Come on. Recovering my footing, I try to slam the agent back against the wall again, but it does nothing. I could try dead weight. It's a quick and effective option to throw someone's balance off when you're in a hold such as this. But that would more likely snap my neck because of the amount of force he's using to hold me up. At this point, my lungs scream and burn for air, my muscles ache and sting from the lack of oxygen, and I'm starting to get dizzy. Once again, I slam the agent against the wall with my back. Shit. I can't hold myself up anymore. My knees start to buckle, and I frantically try to regain my footing, but my body refuses to work with me. The agent manages to get me to the ground, my face planted against the concrete floor. He shoves his knee into my back to keep me from moving any further. Instinctively, my mouth opens and my tongue tries to stick out as I fail to breathe. Shh, just let go. It's easier this way. It'll be over soon, I promise. So what, do we actually die here? Finished so soon, Miyuki? Yep, where's Julia? I'm right here. I reveal myself from around the corner. Oh, so I see we get another flashback, and then maybe we just pick the bad ending or something? I mean, I did remember having a choice between three options from my relationship with Natsuki before we started dating, when I just first met up with, the dad in the hospital. I think I picked mutual friend. We were basically mutual friends with Monica. Ma'am, he's submitted. What? You're kidding. Nope. I guess as soon as I mentioned the non-interference doctrine to his girlfriend, he had no other choice but to surrender. He said, if Julia is truly done with me as an agent and wants this approach, I won't fight her any further. For some reason, hearing that Level Engine said that devastates me. I didn't want it to come to this point. I essentially destroyed him, and to hear he's given up, tears start to wet my eyes, but I blinked them away just as quickly as they came. You okay, ma'am? Yeah, this is not an easy situation. There isn't really much we can do but wait. Correct, but doing this was a smart decision. What else did he say? Nothing else I think you'd want to hear. What do you mean? You betraying him. I feel my heart break a little more in my chest, and I lean against the wall. Level Engine means a lot to me, and after this I guess he means a lot more to me than I realized. Now he doesn't trust me. He's most likely going to cut me out of his life from now on, and I don't even know what is going to happen to him after all this is over. And what makes it worse is I couldn't bring myself to face him in that room. I had Miyuki do it for me. I'm despicable. You know what? I'm going to go talk to him. Ma'am? Take down the information he gave you about what happened and start to compile a report. I'll meet you in my office when I'm done here. Okay, so he's not dead? I thought for sure just having like a metal wire around your neck would just kill you. For like, if it was around there for long enough, I thought for sure that would have just killed him. What I finally see makes my blood run cold and paralyzes me. The agent that was supporting Miyuki stands over Level Engine and unwraps a silver metallic wire from his throat. What the hell are you doing? He looks back at me while his face turns completely white and quickly tries to hide his weapon. Why are you in here? From my position, I can see a Level Engine's motionless body slumped onto the ground, and it's clear he isn't breathing. Oh my god, Level Engine! No, why did you do this? You don't need to know that, Julia. He wraps the wire around his hand and neatly tucks it away into his suit pocket, giving me a cocky grin. Without hesitation, I charge him and slam him against the wall. Yo? He tries to resist by pushing against my chest, but I throw my left arm out and wrap it around his right. Next, I pull him towards me and thrust his right arm up at an unnatural angle. The sickening crunch of his forearm being fractured in several places rings in my ears. As his body recoils, I place my right foot behind his and pull him toward me. Once his chest makes contact with mine, I shove him back. His legs make contact with mine, toppling him over. However, I keep my grip on his broken arm and twist the maneuver into his stomach. Ma'am, what is with the yelling? Miyuki walks in and I give her an exasperated glare to help me out. She runs over and places her foot onto the agent's back and I let her grab onto his arm. What the hell happened in here? What is wrong with 4219? Rolling Level Engine's limp body to his side, I look at his neck and examine the deep and dark marks caused by the agent's wire. Miyuki, he strangled Level Engine. What? Why in the hell would you do that? I pressed my first two fingers against a specific spot on Level Engine's throat. Oh my god. What is it, Julia? He has no pulse. I'm gonna try to give him CPR. I remove a key from my keychain and quickly remove the restraints from Level Engine's wrists. Placing him onto his back, I get close to him and place my hands on his sternum. This usually never works for someone who's been strangled, but I have to give it a shot. He deserves more than me if I just give up and leave him to die. After getting my hands into position, I start my rhythmic compressions. A few compressions later, I pinch his nose closed and place my lips against his and try to kickstart his lungs by blowing air into them. Nothing. No, I'm not going to give up. I start compressions again and try to blow more into his lungs. He remains unresponsive. Tears start to stream down my cheeks as I slowly lose my own emotional resolve. No, damn it! You can't die. You can't! Once again, I start frantically performing my rhythmic compressions, and of course it fails. No. I slam my fist against Level Engine's chest and start to sob uncontrollably. Several other agents enter the room and help restrain the agent Miyuki has control over. Once he has been fully restrained, Miyuki tries to help me to my feet, but I refuse and shake her off. I sit down next to Level Engine and close my eyes, remaining completely silent. Miyuki and the other agents start to grab Level Engine's attacker and drag him out, but I open my eyes and wave to them before they exit. Standing up, I take the holstered handgun I have in my suit's overcoat and point at the defenseless cretin. The tears stop flowing from my reddened eyes and I place my finger on the trigger. Ma'am? What are you doing? I don't respond. I don't need to. I don't want to. This loathsome human deserves to die for what he did. Level Engine never got a chance to fight back. He died in a way that dishonors and humiliates him. And I want nothing more than to dispose of this trash. He deserves to die. He deserves to suffer. He deserves the wrath of someone even more fearsome than I. If Ashley was alive, she would be slicing this asshole's skin off with a dull blade. Ma'am, don't do it! We could use him alive to question him. We need to find out why he did this. I believe I found the answers to our questions already, Miyuki. This is the man who killed Williams. This is the man who's been hiding everything from us. What if he's collaborating with someone else here? We could really use any intelligence he has. We might be able to prevent this from happening to another agent, Julia. Trembling, I fight against my own fingers as it begins to pull it. What would Ash want me to do? What would Level Engine want me to do? So, do we actually get to choose whether or not she shoots the guy? Shut up, Miyuki. I raise my voice and start using my commanding tone. Agent, you are under arrest, and the only person who will be speaking to you is me. I have no problem skipping your medical wing visit for your arm if you plan to resist. What? You think you can do that? Hahaha. You're just as thick as your dead baby boy over there. I approach the man to kneel down and stare into his eyes. You are mine now. I will do with whatever I please. You are in my custody, and you're lucky I'm not breaking the rest of your bones and leaving you to rot. Your eyes. What the fuck is with your eyes? I place the barrel of my handgun against the gap between his eyes. Miyuki? Yes, ma'am? Get him the hell away from me, now. Yes, ma'am. I remove the barrel of the gun from the agent's face and holster it back inside of my suit jacket. I can't even bear to move. I just kneel there in the dimly lit room with my head bowed and the tears coming back to my eyes. So, how am I gonna get a good ending here? Do I just have to go all the way back to where I can make that choice? And then pick the right one, and hopefully it's just gonna lead to something better than this? Weird, I haven't seen him all day. It kind of worries me a little. He sent me a few messages after my dad took me from the club yesterday. We didn't talk much since Dad refused to let me have my phone until we were done. I put my phone back into my pocket and keep walking down the hall. I haven't seen him all day today either. He usually buys my lunch and my snacks. Well, maybe he's at the club and just forgot. That dummy, forgetting things like that. I'm actually scared to see Monica right now. I mean, my dad shoved her to the floor. She must be really upset at me. I still can't believe he did that. Right in front of Level Engine, too. The least I can do right now is thank Monica for stopping him. It looked like he was going to start an all-out brawl with Dad. As much as I really want that to happen, I don't think that's a good idea at all. I can handle this on my own. I've been dealing with this for years anyway. It isn't fair for me to just come into his life and wreck it with my issues. Closing the door behind me, I look at Sayori, Yuri, and Monica. They're all sitting at our usual group of desks, only I don't see a Level Engineer's backpack anywhere. Where is he? I scour the room for any sign of him, making my concern even worse. Hey, Natsuki! Welcome back to the club! Hi, Monica. Can I talk to you for just a moment? Yeah, of course you can. Is everything alright? I just want to apologize for what my dad did. Oh, sweetheart. You don't need to worry about that. Level Engine helped me back up afterward. It was a good thing he did, because if I didn't stop him, things would have been really bad. Yeah. Speaking of which, have you seen him at all today? No, I can't say I have. Why? Is something wrong? I haven't heard from him since yesterday. I don't think he was at school today. He didn't show up to any of the classes we had together this morning, either. Do you think he's sick today? He's super stubborn. Oh, definitely. If you've ever observed the quality of the lunches he brings to school, you would never expect him to get sick. So missing today and not telling anyone is quite the cause for concern. I just know right now that they're gonna figure out that he died, and then everyone's gonna be sad. Can't wait to share my poem. I had planned for the both of us to write a poem together so we could share it here at the club. I cross my arms and give my usual sassy Yeah, like, who's gonna break the news to them that Level Engine's dead? Well, the Level Engine in the game, like, not me, I'm still alive. Who's gonna break the news that the main character died? When Yuri and I leave the club room to fill the teapot with water, she nervously tries to maintain eye contact with me. Is everything alright, Natsuki? You don't usually help me. Yeah, well, I guess I just want to talk to you about something really quickly. I offer to hold the teapot, but Yuri politely shakes her head. So I thought I wouldn't ever really need to ask you for help, but I'm writing a poem with Level Engine, and we have planned to share it together today. But since he isn't here, I got a better idea. I want to make a sort of surprise poem for him. A surprise poem? That's very sweet of you. Don't tell anyone about this, you understand? Of course I do. I think it's rather cute you would like to do something special for him. It's not cute. I flash an aggressive look at Yuri, which makes her giggle. So how would you prefer me to help with that? Well, you're just so good with words. And granted, even though Level Lunch is a big dummy at times, he has a more advanced vocabulary than me. Yuri nods and listens. I would like to ask you for help with using bigger words. I can't believe I'm asking Yuri of all people to help with this. However, she does have a lot of experience and talent with big descriptive words. I think she called it diction at one point. I still think it's superior in many different ways, but I want Level Lunch to actually like reading it. I think no matter how you read or write, he's going to love it. I don't believe you need to commit yourself to a writing style you're comfortable with just to impress him. He's already impressed with you enough as it is. But what do you mean by that? You're his girlfriend, Natsuki. You cheated with that answer. While I disagree that you would need to do anything extravagant to make a poem for him, I appreciate you asking me for help. Why wouldn't I? I know that sometimes I may just be a tad aggressive with you, but I've come to think of you as one of my good friends. We may disagree on things. I'm flattered. I think of you as one of my good friends too. Everything you said I agree with wholeheartedly. I actually really needed that. No problem. Peering out the windows, must be really raining hard out there. Don't you just love it? When it rains, it always makes for a good atmosphere to curl up with a blanket, some tea, and a book. That isn't my cup of tea. I prefer to read manga instead of a regular book. I don't respond to her and look back over to the picture, watching it slowly fill up. But Yuri turns from the window and faces me again. So you haven't heard from Level Lunch and Adolescence last night? Yeah, he usually texts me good night or something like that before we fall asleep, but I didn't get anything. Not even this morning when we usually meet up before class. It isn't like him to stop and miss school and not tell anyone. After the whole incident from yesterday, I saw he was extremely upset. Monica managed to calm him down, but he had that characteristic look. What do you mean by that? Do you remember how he acted when he first joined the club? He was very standoffish and abrasive. He even looked at you differently. I guess that notion sounds horrible, but allow me to explain. I get what you're saying. And over time, he grew closer to all of us. He's mellowed out a good measurable amount. Don't you agree? So what you're telling me is he acted like his old self after I left? Correct. It's not a big revelation or worry. It's just something I happened to notice yesterday. Now I'm even more worried about him. I'm gonna go to his house and check on him. In this rain? Yeah, I have an umbrella. Plus, his Level Engine wouldn't care about the rain if he was in my position. I see. So we're gonna go over to his house. Fancy black car pull up in the driveway. That must be Level Engine. What other reason could it just go poof like that? The driver and the passenger doors open and two women step out. One of the women uses her hand to cover her black hair. She positions her umbrella over her. The other doesn't even appear to bother since both of her hands are empty. Wait a second, I recognize one of them. That's Julia, Level Engine's guardian. The girl with the black hair I don't recognize. I keep looking at the car's back door, expecting one of them to open and Level Engine to step out, but nothing. That's weird. Julia stands behind the front door. Her eyes are almost as grayscale as the sky, almost like they have no emotion in them. Other than that, the slightly broken expression on her face sends shivers all the way down my spine. Hi Julia, is Level Engine here? Excuse me. Gesturing she wants to get past me. Oh, I'm sorry. I step to the side to allow her through, expecting her to ask me what I was there for, but nothing. She walks past me back to the parked car, holding a small box in her hands. Is the main character's ashes in that box? Was he cremated? What the hell is going on here? I'm starting to seriously get worried for Level Engine. Julia, is Level Engine okay? The silence we share almost makes me want to scream. I keep expecting her to say something, but it looks as if she's fighting to not speak. Water now considerably dripping from her hair, she turns away and returns to the car. Cursing under my breath, I open the front door and enter Level Engine's house. Other than that, everything seems fine. Hey, dummy, are you in here? To my dismay, he isn't anywhere to be found. I take a seat onto the foot of the bed and sigh. It isn't nice to make a girl worry, Level Engine. Ain't that the truth? A sudden woman's voice from the hallway startles me. It's the girl who arrived with Julia. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. No, it's okay. I was just looking for Level Engine. I see, are you his? I'm Natsuki, his, girlfriend. Ah, so you're Natsuki. Level Engine's mentioned you quite a bit. He has? I mean, are you a friend of his? Oh no, I just know Julia. I'm only here for her, basically. I see. I don't suppose you would know where level engine is, would you? I'm afraid I do not, sorry. I hate to do this, but I gotta ask you to leave now. We're about to leave ourselves and we need to lock up. Right. The girl escorts me out of the house and locks the front door behind us. She gives me a quick farewell wave and gets into the car. I return the wave and start to walk back home, disappointed. Sorry for the wait, ma'am. I should have told her. Instead of putting her worried mind to rest, I ignored her. Another mistake I made. Ma'am, we'll be okay. I don't think you're in any condition to break that kind of news to anyone right now. I guess you're right. Ignoring the unceasing burning in my eyes, I shift gears and back out of the driveway. I'll tell her when I can come to accept what I've done. While I return to school, I try my best to get Julia's facial expression out of my mind. It was like she was a completely different person than the one I've seen before. Over the time I've known Level Engine, I've met Julia only a few times, but this is still a night and day difference from how she usually is. Maybe she's just having a bad day. That would explain why she wasn't talkative, right? And that girl with her couldn't tell me anything either. So I left this house with more questions than I started with. Timing is perfect. I sent a message to Level Engine. Hey, are you okay? I haven't heard from you all day and I just want to make sure. I stare at the messaging screen, praying for something to happen, but of course I got no response. Sighing dejectedly, I return my phone to my pocket, reopen my umbrella, and start walking home. Closing the front door behind me, I take off my shoes and leave them near its door on a small mat. I tie my umbrella closed and leave it to the next door as well, walking to the kitchen. I hope Dad got something I can have for an after-school snack. I'm starving. Opening the fridge, I scour around for anything that my father wouldn't miss if I had eaten. But he usually has a very keen eye on this, so my hopes aren't too high. But much to my surprise, I see a bunch of fresh apples sitting in one of the crisper drawers. I quickly grab one and run it under the sink, washing off anything gross that sits on the skin. After turning off the water, I take a bite into it, and the taste is amazing. I question why it tastes so good, but the violent rumble in my stomach answers. Father's door opens upstairs, which sends me into a panic race to finish my apple. But before I could take another few bites, he turns the corner and steps into the doorway. Natsuki, what are you eating? An apple. An apple? You mean the brand new ones I bought for my shakes? I'm sorry, I didn't know. His hand wraps around my wrist, yanks me towards him, and snatches the apple out of my hand. What, did your boyfriend not make you food like he did yesterday? Actually, no, he didn't. He wasn't at school today. So you just come home and start eating my food with reckless abandon, huh? I'm sorry, I was just only going to have one. I'm really hungry. Do not raise your voice at me. Heh, you know, my sweet daughter. I don't understand how you're going so wrong. I raised you to be a respectable and submissive young lady, but here you are, raising your voice at me like you're the one in charge, and acting like you own everything. I own everything here. You own nothing. Tears start to sting my eyes, and I start to breathe heavily. I hate it when he just says this stuff to me. I try my best, but it's never good enough for him. When you're not going to be a disappointment. I buy you nice clothes, I spend money on your textbooks, I teach you manners, I even spend time out of my day to make sure you're keeping up with your studies so you become successful in life. You don't do any of that. You only buy me clothes you think I'm cute in. My textbooks were loaned to me by the school. You didn't pay a single dime for them. I learned my manners from Mom, but I lost them over time because of how crude you are. And you only care about my grades because you just want bragging rights to people. You don't actually care how I do. You don't even help me when I ask. You don't care at all. He takes a step back, surprised at my sudden outburst, but his face starts to turn red and he balls his hands to fists. Why, you ungrateful little bitch? His hand tightens around my throat as he lifts me up against it. How dare you speak to your father in such a manner? You are to respect me. He starts to breathe heavily and squeezes against my throat even harder. Dad, I can't breathe. Shut up. I don't care at all, huh? Well, I guess that's it. He pulls me away from the fridge and drops me to the ground. My knees slam against the tile floor, pain shooting through them as they make contact. As I cough and try to regain my breath, Dad starts to walk out of the room. Go to your room. If I see you out of your room at all tonight, I'm going to throw you out. You can go stay with your super duper great boyfriend and be his burden for once, and since I don't care at all, I don't see a reason anymore to make dinner for you. Tears start to drip down to my cheeks and drain all my bodily energy. I don't even think I can even manage to get up from the floor. Natsuki, what did I just say? I'm going to my room, okay? The door latches closed behind me, and I quickly turn the knob to lock it. Afterward, I stand still next to my door and look at the ground. All my emotions start to fill me like a bathtub, my eyes becoming the only means of escape for them. But out of the corner of my eye, a little brown stuffed bear catches my eye. Oh, it's Insuika. I quickly run to grab him and return to my bed to lie down in the middle of it. His cute little black eyes make me smirk through my sadness. If I'm ever not around to protect you, he will be. I really wish you were here with me right now. I don't know where you are or what is going on with you, but I hope you're okay. I just want to see you again and hug you. I know nothing will come of it. My efforts to comfort myself don't go as I planned. They only make me feel more weak and vulnerable. You can go stay with your super duper great boyfriend and be his burden for once. Am I really a burden on him? Did what happened at the yesterday at the club drive him off? No, that can't be true. Level Engine wouldn't just leave us behind and be scared away easily like that. God, I hope not. Sniffling through my tears, I close my eyes and try to rest. Back at Julia's office again. I finished my signature with my own little curve, finishing up the authorization for orders. This should be more than enough to grant me full authority to take over this investigation. The agent we took into custody has been completely silent since we arrested him. I wish I could have put a bullet in his head for what he did. Thank God for Miyuki convincing me to stop. Otherwise he'd be long gone by now. Now that I look back on it, I've never reacted that way before. I guess the sudden shock of losing one of the only people I had left to care for here really sent me over the edge. With every pump of blood my heart forces through my veins, I can't help but feel overwhelmed by remorse. I promise, Level Engine, I will put an end to this. That's one thing I can do to say I'm sorry. Granted, sorry will never be enough to atone for what happened. It will never be, and that is something I will just have to live with from now on, no matter what. And to make things worse, I locked up when Natsuki showed up at his house. He was his girlfriend and was probably worried sick about him, and I just ignored her. I know I mentioned something to Miyuki in the car at the time, but it still lingers in my mind. How am I going to explain what happened to Level Engine and tell her I was the cause of it? That if I hadn't done what I did, I would allow the thought to trail off enough to maintain my bearing. While moving past that grievance, I take a look down at the stack of papers I just reviewed. They were internal affairs forms that I have specifically drafted and signed that would allow me to seize control of the investigation from this point onward. This includes the interrogation of the agent we detained and any further cohorts. And right now I have him locked in a confinement room away from the general building. I have 2 deck agents as access control, and only Miyuki and I have access to the room. Our key cards are the only ones able to badge into it. And as an added security benefit, I have real-time alerts set up for anyone who attempts to open the door. Not taking any chance with this, I'm using everything available to me. And after the recent events, admin has no problem pushing these papers through. After all, Level Engine was my agent. I take a solid black permanent marker and write J4219 CC IA-URG October 13th 20XX across the top overlap. J being my first initial, 4219 being Level Engine's agent number, IA being internal affairs and URG meaning urgent. I lick the manila envelope closed and then click my tongue to get rid of the god-awful adhesive taste. Now that's done, it's time to go handle the only problem I have left. After I drop off the envelope to the Internal Affairs office, I give Miyuki a call and inform her I'm going to question the agent. So this is where we just hold the agents, we're going to go question them. So why'd this all happen exactly? The pitch black room swallows me as the door closes behind me. Pressing a button near the door, the room lights up to expose the rogue agent. He's seated against the wall in the corner of the room and looks up at me. Hello, Julia. Are you going to talk to me? Because I'm not in the mood to play childish games with you. That's a shame. What use is it to keep me here then? You know I'm not going to talk. So you'd rather spend whatever time you have left in this darkened room? Doesn't respond and shrugs his shoulders. Because I control how long of a life you live now. And I can do whatever I want with you. Or you can just tell me what I want to know and I will let you go. What? You're lying, haha. No, I will grant you blanket immunity for ousting anyone else involved in your little scheme. What if I operated alone, huh? What then? You didn't act alone. You were taking orders. He tries to speak, but I cut him off by raising his hand. I know your kind. I deal with your kind. I am your kind. Do not attempt the bullshit of bullshitter. I know you were taking orders, and this wasn't just a one-time event for you to one-up a 4-digit. A 4-digit that couldn't defend himself. What better time to take him out? Kinda like you right now, eh? Pfft, you wish. What's to stop me from doing exactly to you what you did to Level Engine? I reached into my suit pocket and pulled out the garrote wire that was used to strangle Level Engine. His eyes widen slightly, but he maintains his bearing and fortitude. What's stopping you is information. You want information that I have, and if you kill me, you won't get it. Oh, I will get what I want one way or another. I reach out and grip his throat with my right hand, making sure my nails dig into his skin. Ugh. Why did you go after Level Engine? Because I felt like it. Care to elaborate? No. I released my grip on his throat and quickly slammed my left hand against his temple, throwing him to the wall. You bitch. I grab onto his hair and pull him up to his knees. No, 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 no. You have it backward. You are the bitch. You are my bitch. He swings his head back, preparing to headbutt me, but I lean away from him fast enough to kick him in the chest and send him flying back into the wall. He looks back up towards me, rage burning in his eyes. But the sound of the metallic lock being released causes us to look at the door. When it opens, Miyuki peers her head and locks eyes with me. Everything going fine, ma'am? Yes, thank you. She nods in affirmation and closes the door. If you don't want to talk, that's fine. You can always write. What are you doing? Open your mouth. What? As she speaks that word, I jam the piece of metal into his mouth, forcing it open. Ugh? You'll have to excuse me. I don't quite have my orthodontics degree yet. I slide out a small self-defense knife and raise it to his mouth. He grunts and his eyes widen, evidently shocked by what I intend to do. Why do you look so shocked? I said it's fine if you don't talk. I force his tongue out of his mouth. Oh god, that's gross. It feels like I'm trying to grab a lean piece of raw steak. The tip of the blade rests against the top of his tongue and he starts to freak out. You can always write what I want to know down. Oh, that reminds me. Are you a righty or a lefty? Oh, shit. Imagine if he just lies. Say he's like one hand, and then she cuts off the actual dominant hand he writes with. He could always just lie about what hand he uses to write with. So I know what hand to spare. You don't need the other fingers, do you? When I finish that sentence, he starts to scream and thrash around, causing my slit blade to just slightly cut into his tongue. Stop freaking out. You'll make me nick something I don't want to. He freezes instantly, grunting like he's trying to say something. What is that? I can't overhear you having me in your mouth. Are you going to talk? After a brief second, he nods yes. I remove both the knife and the brace from his mouth. God, the fuck is wrong with you? If I hear that coming from you, considering what you did, I think this is mild. Now start talking to me about this attack on your peer. That's a funny word for it. He was a fellow agent! No, he was not. He wasn't from my division. He was not my friend. He was not my brother. The men I work with are my brothers, not that wuss of a lone wolf. The only reason you're in your position is because of him. Now that he's gone, what's left for you? More than you can possibly imagine. Not like I care anyway. I did what I was supposed to. Why? I asked you a goddamn question. Why did you do it? Because I was told to. By who? By who? I can't tell you. Why not? Because if I do, they'll kill me. If you don't, I'll kill you. Then I guess I'm fucked either way. The Eastern Branch. What about them? The Eastern Branch asked me to take out the Reaper. You're kidding me. No, Julia. I had my arm pulled behind my back. If I didn't kill him, they would have killed my family. Who in the Eastern Branch ordered this malignant nonsense? I wish I could tell you, but that's all I know. No, you're lying to me about this. Maybe I am, and maybe I'm not. I've said all I wanted to. You aren't going to get anything else from me. Oh, no. You and I aren't done yet. I want names, I want dates, and I want times. Fine, I'll play your game. The metallic lock clicks in once again, like clockwork. Miyuki sticks her head in. Man, checking in. Miyuki, can you bring in the 2 deck agents out there with you? Yeah, of course. Will you fine gentlemen mind lending me a hand with a pest problem I have? Perfect, let's start. I close the door with Julia, the 2 deck agents, and the imprisoned man inside of the cell. She asked me to make sure her page was clear and that Internal Affairs hadn't tried to contact her. I have no idea what she's doing to that man there, but I have a feeling I don't want to know. I'd follow her through hell and back if I had to. But ever since that day, she's been completely different. She only just shows disdain for herself, like all of the respect and prestige she's earned is gone. And I guess seeing Natsuki didn't help either. That young girl was not Level Engine's girlfriend, and Julia couldn't bring herself to tell her what happened. With that, I have one concern. How will she react when this is all over? Because I know her very well. She will get the information she wants, but what she will do with it, no one can predict. After all, Level Engine was like a son to her, and she and I essentially betrayed that trust and forced him into a situation we didn't know was going to be fatal. No matter who you are, he wouldn't take the consequences well. I mean, the look in her eyes when we first apprehended the agent, it was like she was a completely different person. I wouldn't have expected her to become like this. That's why I'm worried about Julia. So the girls still not know he's dead. Or are they going to figure out now? I'm going to assume this is like from Natsuki's point of view again. Arriving at the door, I peek in and make eye contact with Monika. She immediately stops what she's doing and walks out into the hallway with me. Hey Natsuki, you aren't looking all that good. Is everything okay? Didn't you get my message? No, I didn't. Monika, I... As soon as I hear her soft and caring voice, I lose all emotional stability and my eyes start to sting. Without even thinking about it, I wrap my arms around her and rest my head against her chest. Monika secures me in the hug by placing her arms around me and softly speaking into my ear. What happened, Natsuki? I don't even know where to start. My dad or Level Engine? I don't really hide what is happening between me and my dad, but Monika's always known she worries for me. It's not the easiest thing to share, but at this point, I have nowhere to turn. My father is becoming worse and worse, and he stopped feeding me completely. The water bottle in my backpack has been filled and emptied more times than I can remember today. After all, it's easier to just get rid of the hunger pains if you fill your stomach with water, even if it's just for a short time. Monika, I went to Level Engine's house yesterday to check on him. I saw Julia and some other girl there taking boxes out of his house and putting them into a car. He wasn't anywhere to be seen. I tried to talk to his guardian, but she didn't even look at me. Like something extremely bad happened and she was afraid to tell me. They were taking boxes out of his house? That's strange, especially since none of us had heard anything. Do you have any theories? None that I care to say out loud. Probably isn't the right thing to do right now. The least we can do right now is hope for the best, alright? That's not all. I'm so sorry. Honestly don't know what to say right now. Don't apologize. It's not like I was going to expect you to know what to do either. I have no idea what to do regarding your father, but you just can't let it happen. Natsuki, sweetheart. He is starving you because he's an insensitive and selfish prick. Sorry, I didn't mean to go off like that. Don't apologize. I feel the same way you do. I place my hands on my hips and look off to the side. Well, I'm not going to stand around and watch you starve. Come with me to the lunchroom really quickly. I'm going to buy you something to eat. Huh? You don't have to do that, Monika. Just as Monika said, she takes me to the lunchroom and purchases me an after-school snack. I repeatedly tell her she doesn't have to, but she refuses to listen. Deep down inside, I'm super thankful she did this for me because I'm actually able to eat for once. But I just don't want to ask anyone for help. I don't need it. I can take care of all this myself. However, while we're walking back from the lunchroom, I happen to notice a figure walking into the clubroom. Woman in a black suit. That's Julia, isn't it? Can I speak to you outside? Sure. Julia walks toward the door, and as she passes me, she places her hand ever so gently onto my back, coaxing me along. When we get outside, she closes the door behind us. Hey, just so I want to apologize for how I acted towards you. I was going through something at the time, and I made it extremely difficult to speak or express any emotion at that moment. Why? Did something happen to Level Engine? It looks like she has the words she wants to say stuck in her throat. Julia? Natsuki, I made a mistake. A very, very big mistake, and I don't know how I can forgive myself. Most importantly, I don't know how to break it to you. Oh my god. Do you mean he's dead? The tear that she held in her eye finally falls down her cheek while she nods. No, he's gone. I take a few steps back from her and cover my mouth with my hands. She tries to stop herself from crying. Both of her eyes are completely watery now, just barely stopping the tears from running down her face. Level Engine. All of a sudden, my knees feel weak and my stomach drops to the point of nausea. She moves her hand from my shoulder to my back, pulling me into a hug. Her perfume wafts into my nose, making this moment all the more personal. I tightly grip onto Natsuki. The poor young girl cries on my shoulder. Fighting off my own emotions, I do my best to try and comfort her, but I know I'm failing. I'm not the greatest at breaking news like this. No matter with receiving the emotions it instigates, especially with someone as close as Level Engine. I know everything that has been going on with you. Level Engine has made me fully aware of your circumstances. And I just want you to know I'm going to be here to help you through it. If you ever need anything, I want you to call me. That has my office and my direct cell number. Seriously, if you ever need anything, I want you to call me. Level Engine mentioned to me that your father wasn't feeding you much. Have you eaten today? He hasn't fed me at all. He's done doing that. Jesus Christ. But one of my friends bought me some food earlier, so I'm fine for now. Alright, A man's voice calls out from down the hall. Natsuki, are you ready to leave or what? I've been in the car waiting. And that's Natsuki's dad right there. But it doesn't even faze me. I continue to stare at him as he converges on us. Natsuki looks between him and I, almost on the brink of panic. She scoots closer and closer to me and away from who I presume to be her father. His gaze meets mine, and he furrows his brows as if I am an inconvenience to him. What do you mean, Dad? What I mean is I've been in the car waiting for you for a long time. Why? I usually walk home after the club. I'll call you when I send a text message. Huh? I watched Natsuki reach into her pocket and pull out her phone, her face contorted in confusion. I don't have anything from you, Dad. Wait a minute. My phone says it has no service. I wonder why it says that. Natsuki's father scratches the stubble of hair he has on his chin while speaking in a condescending, mocking tone. The tone alone is enough to warrant an immediate negative impression of the man. Did you turn my phone off? Seems like it, doesn't it? Why would you do that? This isn't something you should be throwing a tantrum about in public. Tantrum? If you want your phone service back so bad, go ask your boyfriend to do it. Natsuki stands completely still, shocked at what her father just said to her. When I see him after the news I just gave to her, this might have broken her. Subconsciously, my hand balls into fist from pure outrage at what this despicable human being just said. Do you really think that's an appropriate way to speak to your daughter? And who are you to tell me how to parent? What I said was rather simple. If she wants her phone back on, she can ask her super reliable and amazing boyfriend to turn it back on. He can't, because he's dead, Dad! Oh, well. That certainly is unfortunate. But I couldn't care less. He was a nuisance anyway. Natsuki, let's go. Excuse me? How dare you say something like that? I'm sorry. Who are you? I'm Level Engine's guardian. I've cared for him since he was a child. I see. Well, I have my condolences at least. But maybe you're the one who needs to be taught about parenting. Your whatever you want to call him was nothing but trouble and disrespectful to me. I wouldn't even doubt that his attitude was what resulted in him passing away. Anyway, back to the topic here. Natsuki, stop crying and get up. How can you be so insensitive? Julia, calm down. You honestly can't afford to take matters into your own hands here at the school right now. But now I guess I understand how much of a problem he is to Natsuki. No, how much of a problem he is in general. Only a monster would say such things. Level Engine, I now know what you're talking about when you spoke of this man. He reminds us of someone, doesn't he? The sudden shock of my phone ringing distracts me from my agitation. Ma'am? Julia, are you there? Yes, Miyuki, I am. What is wrong? I think we finally have a lead on what that agent meant by Eastern Branch. You're kidding! I'm on my way to the office now. I'll be waiting. Oh, and how did it go? It went worse than I expected. She took it really hard, I don't blame her. Can you do me a favor, please? Level Engine's phone should be inside my desk, bottom drawer. I want you to turn it on and look through his contacts for Natsuki's phone number. Once you have it ported and connected to my private account. I appreciate it, Miyuki. And whatever you do not message Natsuki from his phone. Are we clear on this? Alright, good. I'll see you soon. Okay, so how long has the main character been dead for and this is still just going on? So what's in this folder? Asset recovery and destruction. The date is listed as the day before the raid on Level Engine's house. Wait, oh my god, is this the order? I feverishly emptied the contents of the folder onto my desk and spread the pages across its surface to examine each and every one. Several papers directly relate to what I've been looking for ever since the start of this. But instead of the header reading Central Branch, it reads Eastern Branch. As soon as I read those words, my blood runs cold. I honestly didn't expect that to be true. What the hell is going on? I read through the document with intense scrutiny, taking in everything at once. At the bottom are two signatures. One is of an authorizing admin member, which is automatically printed for specific people, and the other is the issuing agent. The issuing agent's name is Hideki Obayashi. Immediately, without speaking a single word, I wake my computer up from sleep and pull up the database for personnel records. Searching up Hideki pulls no results from my database at all. But that name looks familiar. Wait, wasn't that like Matsumoto's old alias or something? Since it's an entirely different branch than ours, I'd have to go to the assistant director about this. Well, lucky for us, she's a reasonable woman, and she had taken a liking to Level Engine. I don't think she'll have a strong opposition locating a traitor in her agency. I see. You really do have some tricks up your sleeve. I'm not a division chief for nothing, my sweet assistant. Yeah, didn't Natsuki's dad actually change his name from Hideki to Matsumoto or something? I thought I remembered seeing that Hideki name much earlier in the playthrough of this mod. Well, Natsuki route anyways. That's what I was beginning to think. As soon as the SWAT team, or... No, not the SWAT team, like, the Spec Ops attacked Level Engine, I was starting to suspect that maybe Natsuki's dad had some sort of connection with the agency, but... apparently it's a different branch of the agency. So I was correct on this. So you essentially broke several privacy regulations and accessed another branch's archives without permission. I could kiss you right now, you know. Thank you for all your help. I couldn't have done any of this without you. That's probably Natsuki's dad that's working for the other branch of the agency that basically had Level Engine killed. Well, the Level Engine in this game. If you're ever going to report to the administration hall, it's never for a good reason. There's always some sort of investigation or questioning or termination. Oh, it even gives me the shivers. But I continue along the red-carpeted path down the strangely eerie corridor, glancing at many pictures of the agency's history hanging on the wall. Tell me what happens tomorrow. It's almost... I think it's actually past 11 for me right now. Oh, so you've actually been just watching the whole stream so far anyways? Oh, so you've basically just been keeping up with what's been happening so far, and I don't need to just refresh you on what happened. I have information on what's been going on. Based on the information provided by the incarcerated agent, I was able to determine and confirm orders were given by an agent in the Eastern Branch. No, that's not possible. You did something wrong. You're free to take a look at what's in this folder. Whatever's in there, it better definitely back up you on this preposterous accusation. Inter-branch orders are strictly prohibited without administrative approval, and I have not provided my approval for such acts. But as she reads the first page, her eyebrows lift in surprise. She doesn't respond and leans back into her chair, licking the tip of her thumb and turning the page. Alright, good night, physicist. So the bastards actually did it. Ma'am? Well, I guess I will eat crow. You were right about this. This is going to severely complicate things on my end. Son of a... I did not know of this. Not like I would even consider approving something like this on the branch's best 4-digit. Ma'am, I know of a way we can go about this. The issuing agent is named Hideki Obayashi. I know you're at the level of clearance that allows the pulling up records of any of the branches. So just search records without notice? We need to find out who this Hideki Obayashi is and why he committed such a huge treasonous taboo. It would also be unfortunate if he were to come into harm by random chance for his aggressions against us and my agent. No way of stopping this random chance. He'll look through his file eventually. The amount of censored and classified information contained in this system would be extremely detrimental for anyone unauthorized to view. As she types information from the order into a pre-made search query, I look around the room and my nervousness peaks. Alright, well, it searches for matches. I want you to know something. The only reason I'm letting you do this is because it involves an attack against my branch and my agents. I don't foresee another opportunity like this rising in the future that will call for such extreme measures. I'm not sure how deep this rabbit hole goes. For all we know, the full administration of EB could have planned this. I get your point. Now, stop making flagrant theories. This isn't a daycare where you can let your imagination take control. Yes, ma'am. Search is finished. Took longer than I expected, but it came up with only one record. When the assistant director clicks on the tab, it opens a new window with the agent's information. But according to one of the docketed forms... What? This agent isn't in active duty! That's not right. The order was issued by him the day before. Says he hasn't been in active duty for years. Could it be that he was used as a scapegoat? Possibly, but this kind of order is validated. A retired agent would have never been permitted to go that far. Wait a second. The biometrics of the agent catch my eye. His height, weight, blood type, eye color, skin color, and ethnicity. Those aren't normal biometrics for an Eastern Branch agent. What do you mean? Just trust me on that. Any other information regarding the agent? My heart stops. I fucking knew it. I stare at the record in shock, my hands quaking violently now. Oh my god! What is it, Julia? The image printed on the computer screen is a much younger Matsumoto Keijin. Oh my god, it makes so much sense now. Julia, you need to tell me what the fuck you're talking about, now! That is Natsuki's father! Natsuki was Level Engine's girlfriend. That means shit! A sudden surge of adrenaline releases into my body, directing me to sprint out of the assistant director's office as quickly as I can. Once I exit the assistant director's office, I quickly make my way to my own and enter it. We finally find out who's been behind all of this. All the emotions I felt, the anger, the sadness, the guilt of my actions. It will all come to an end soon. I've made a decision that I'm never going to forgive myself for. I put someone I care very deeply about through something I've never intended. Even if this ends alright, I will carry the guilt with me. Hideki must know we found him out due to his contact being taken into custody and talking. Plus, he has been a 4-digit agent this entire time, so he must have been following every one of our steps carefully. And now that we're closing in on him, I'm afraid he'll try to do something rash before we arrive. The image of him forcefully dragging Natsuki away earlier burns to my mind. God, I hope Natsuki is okay. It's probably only getting worse and worse, isn't it, what Natsuki's going through? I try to picture something that's better than this. Using my hands, I cover my face and wait until it's over. When it is, I roll off of Dad's bed and run to my room. Closing and locking the door behind me, I collapse onto the floor and start crying. Every time this happens, I feel dead inside. I feel so dirty and useless. Is my worth only to do that? Gagging onto the floor, I consider throwing up to get the taste out of my mouth. I'd much prefer the taste of my vomit than. Bile forces itself out my throat and into my mouth. Placing my hand against my mouth to prevent it from coming out, I swallow it back down. If I throw up here on the carpet, he'll beat me again. Not to mention, it won't be easy to clean. I'm disgusted with myself. Grabbing some clothes from my dresser, I quickly put them on to hide my body from myself. Tears blurring my vision to the point of near blindness, I sit down on my bed and lower my head. I can't believe any of this. Everything's going downhill. An hour passes, I manage to calm myself down enough to lie on my bed and rest. Looking at my window, I watch the stars and the clouds in the distance pass. The moonlight shines through my window, just barely illuminating my room with a pretty blue glow. Come to think of it, it's pretty hot in here. I should open the window to cool off. I never do. Lifting myself from my soft and comfy bed, I reach my window and prop it open. Ah, that feels nice. A small part of my imagination taking over, I close my eyes and picture myself in a grassy field with tons of fresh air and freedom. But a door slamming downstairs rips me from my daydream back into reality. And other exceptions occurred. Oh god, why is he screaming? Another exception. I run to my door, open, and head downstairs. Before I can reach the bottom, however, Dad appears around the corner and grabs my hair. As his large hand grips a chunk of it, he pulls me down the rest of the stairs and into the living room. What are you doing? He picks me up by my hair and lowers me to the ground, forcing my head to look at the floor. On the ground are remains of what used to be my school uniform. When we got home earlier, he tore them off of me. Dad, you never gave me the chance to... Yeah? Dad slaps the right side of my face, causing my head to jerk and my hair to be pulled. How do you think I feel? You ripped my clothes off and dragged me upstairs against my will. In my stunned daze, he lets go of my hair and I drop to the ground, slamming my already sore knees against the wood flooring. Enough with the exceptions already. This is really just killing the mood. Okay, we can ignore it. When my vision clears and I'm able to shake myself out of my daze, I watch him walk around the room, staring at me with violent intent in his eyes. Granted, he has been horrible to me for years, but he's never been this bad before. What's wrong? Is something stressing him out? He paces around the room, getting angry and angry at me for doing absolutely nothing. What's he going to do? At this point, I'm so scared that my hands won't stop shaking, scared that even the slightest of movements will cause him to strike me again. He walks over to me and kicks the tattered remains of my uniform away. When I look up, his gaze meets mine, the look in his eyes solidify the panic that bubbles within me. He reaches down and picks me up by my shirt, lifting me off the ground and raising me to his eye level. What are you doing? Ag! He brings his face inches from mine, making me wince and push my head against the wall. I don't want his face to be anywhere near mine. My voice cracking, coming out weakly. I try to get Dad to stop. Dad, please stop. What? What does he mean by that? He moves his hand to my neck. With both of them, he starts squeezing. Ack. Dad. As his grip strengthens around my throat, I feel the air leave my lungs to never return. My face starts to feel extremely hot, and the panic finally starts to set in. Using my nails, I try to claw at Dad's arms to get him to let go. His eyes stare directly into mine, making me claw faster and faster out of fear. However, even though my nails are considerably digging into his arm, he doesn't budge. Why is he doing this? What did I do to deserve this? Dad, I'm sorry. He pulls me away from the wall and slams me back into it. The back of my skull must have left a dent in the wall or something. I can feel the indentation of it. He loosens his grip on me, and I manage to take a big breath of air in. But just as quickly as I can, he retightens his grip on my throat. Oh my god, he's seriously trying to kill her. I'm gonna die by my own father's hand. Why did it have to be this way? I thought he loved me. I thought it was his daughter. What type of father does this to his own child? Level engine. At least I'll be able to see him again. Dad loosens his grip on my throat when someone knocks on the front door, allowing me to take breath as he looks between myself and the door. He contemplates what to do as I gasp for air against the grip of his leathery hands. Involuntarily gasping for air, I try the only thing left to save myself. Help me! Help! He starts to continually slam me against the wall like a ragdoll until I go limp. My back, my head, my neck, they all hurt very badly. My vision goes dizzy again and I feel strangely weak, like I'm in a daze. Open the door! Open the door now! A loud crashing sound comes from near the front door, which startles me out of my dizziness and back into conscious reality. The front door hangs off its hinges and 3 people walk inside. A tall woman with brown hair and 2 men of varying sizes on either side of her. The men standing next to her are all dressed in black with what I think are bulletproof vests and carrying guns. Wait a second. Blinking a few times, I manage to get a look at the woman's face. It's Julia! Dad lets go of me and I slide down the wall, barely hitting the ground. My knees buckle underneath me and I weakly manage to keep myself upright. Julia! Hideki, give it up. You're going to come with me. You'll pay for what you've done. What are they talking about? Why are they calling my dad that? That isn't his name. If we have to, we will. He raises his hand above his head, and the 2 men on either side of Julia slowly walk toward him. When both of the men are close to him, they reach out for his arms. But almost in the blink of an eye, Dad grabs one of the guy's arms and throws him over his shoulder. It's so fast I can barely catch a glimpse of it. Huh? The other guy grabs onto Dad's arm and yanks it down, but Dad throws his left hand up against it. The guy's arm contorts up at an angle that makes me instantly sick. He lurches back, but Dad wraps both of his hands around the guy's head and instantly drops limply to the ground. The entire time, Dad's face remains sternly calm and unexpressive. What is he doing? What is going on here? Dad turns around and swiftly kicks the head of the guy he toppled. Julia and my father walk toward each other, both of them staring each other down with pure hatred in their eyes. This isn't good. He's going to hurt her. From my angle, I can see a majority of my father's back, but I barely catch something moving on my dad's wrist. He has something hidden in his sleeve. He and Julia go to swing at each other, but I try to call out and warn her before it's too late. Julia, watch out! He has something up his sleeve! My dad's fist barely misses her, giving her a window to strike back. She lands a punch squarely into his nose, but he doesn't flinch. He reaches forward and grabs onto her throat, ducking himself down and rotating his hips so he can throw Julia across the living room just by her neck alone. Gah! She breaks her fall with her arms and rolls forward, allowing her to stand up with ease. Whoa! As she recovers, my dad charges into her and grabs onto her arms. He pulls her close enough that he's able to get his shoulders near her stomach. Dad straightens his back, lifting Julia up. No! He stumbles a bit while Julia wraps her legs around his right arm. Quicker than I can comprehend, she kicks her legs out and my dad comes crashing down over her. She now has him in a lock, stretching his arm out well past the angle I think it should. Wait a second. At this angle, I can see my dad's right sleeve. He has a knife hidden in it. Before I can even get the words out, the knife slides perfectly into his grip and he slams it down at Julia. Julia! She catches his wrist with one of her arms and struggles to keep the knife from getting any closer. The other man who had been knocked out by Dad when he was kicked in the head gets up and charges. Dad swings his feet across the ground and gets the momentum to lift Julia with his tripped arm. She lets go and rolls back onto his feet, engaging in combat with Julia's savior. When she manages to stand back up, Dad plunges his knife into his opponent's neck and rips it to the side. No! Spinning and turning on his wheel, swings the knife at Julia. She turns on and rotates her body while simultaneously backing up, just barely dodging his swings. One of his swings grazes her cheek and cuts it slightly. Flattening her hand and angling her palm up, she strikes upward into my dad's face, but he barely recoils and pushes Julia's head down against his knee. Oh god, no! He knocked her out! I quickly try to think of something to do to save Julia's life. I could throw something. Thinking faster than I ever have before, I run to the corner of the room and grab a vase. Dad looks down at Julia and places one of his feet against her neck. Taking a big breath in, I shout and throw the vase at my dad's head. Yeah! The vase soars across the room and crashes into the back of his skull, shattering instantly. He turns around to look at me, his eyes as terrifying as they've ever been. He removes his foot from Julia's neck and starts to charge towards me. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god! Sprinting to the stairs, I start to climb them almost 3 steps at a time. He barrels after me faster than I've ever seen him move before. Stretching my small legs as far as they can, I get to the top of the stairs and race to my room. Locking the door behind me, I stare at him back away. The door starts to shake violently as he slams his fist against it. Damn it, I've cornered myself. I can't get out from here! He walks into the room and stops shortly after the doorway, blocking me in. Dad, please, you don't have to do this. He steps towards me and grabs onto my neck, lifting me straight off the ground into the air. No! I was in the middle of talking when he grabbed me. I have almost no oxygen in my lungs. Gripping onto his wrist and desperately kicking my legs out to hit him proved to be completely useless. His grip on me. It can't... My eyes start to water as I look down to his. But through the blur of my tears, I see a shadowy figure rise up behind my dad and wrap an arm around his neck. Every breath I take feels like I'm inhaling ice. It stings so much. Crawling backward away from my dad, I see the figure throw him over their shoulder. Dad lands on his back and rolls upright. Eventually, I get to the corner of my room and helplessly watch what happens. Dad slightly raises his fist and steps to the side. The figure steps into the faint blue light of the moon. My name isn't Julia, Hideki. I can't believe it! Level Engine stands before my dad with a look I've never seen before. It's the true look of hatred. Level Engine! You of all people should know this by now. You don't kill the Reaper that easily. Wait, how did he survive? He actually survived? I would have never imagined it for a second. As I lose energy and weaken, I can't do much about this guy strangling me. I've tried everything I possibly can, as little there was. My lungs, still filled with a decent amount of air, burnt to release and take in more oxygen. With how tightly wrapped the wires around my neck, I'm unable to do either. In this situation, you can't measure how long your target has left to live, so you wait until they stop moving. Especially during asphyxiation. When they finally go limp, it's safe to assume you've won. Luckily for me, I have experience with holding my breath and dropping my blood pressure to near deceased levels. It's one of the main reasons why I tend to control my breathing in stressful situations. But there's a downside. I will lose consciousness. If he happens to keep his grip on me well after I've passed out, then I'll die. Oh well, there's no other option, at least I have to try this. And he just basically fakes being dead. Like I'm viewing everything at a frame per second. An intense and severe migraine resonates into my skull. Struggling to sit up, I rest my left forearm on the concrete floor to prop me up. With my right, I rub my eyes and notice a single figure in the room with me. The agent that attacked me from earlier is nowhere to be found, and the metallic desk from earlier is upturned. As the world clears and sharpens with my vision, I look at the figure specifically. Her face becomes pallid at the sight of me rising from the dead. You look like you've seen a ghost. No, I've seen the Grim Reaper himself. Pushing myself into my forearm to sit up, I rest my hand on my neck. Miyuki stands frozen, unable to move and having a very hard time speaking. Pressing against my neck with my hand, the raw skin from the wire stings sharply. Judging by the way the desk and the chairs are strewn about the room, I'd say that the agent who attacked me has been caught and taken in. It wouldn't be too far to say that Miyuki probably has a medical team coming down here to retrieve my body, which should actually work out in my favor. How long until the medical team gets here? Like less than a minute. Cancel them, but tell Julia they took my remains. Huh? You don't want to know you're alive? No. It's best for now everyone thinks I'm dead, including Julia. Listen, I'm really sorry about how I acted earlier. The entire reason for this was to draw out the traitors and... I understand. I had a hunch. You did? When? Right around the time that looming oaf wrapped a wire around my neck. After recovering myself and sitting down with Miyuki, we had discussed that it was best I remain incognito until we found out who was responsible behind all this. But I'm a very recognizable person, so I'll have to blend in and stay out of the spotlight for a while. Well then, make me up, Miyuki. Julia will be leaving the office soon to retire for the night. She's extremely exhausted from, well, you know. Just let me know when she leaves and I'll go into it. I'm relieved you're still with us, Level Engine. I too reach out my hand and wrap it around hers. Through the softness of her hand, I can feel it gently quiver. After all, I assume some jittering is normal after an event such as this. But after another handshake, I follow her carefully around the building until I get to Julia's office. After Miyuki and I make sure Julia is gone for the night, she ushers me into the office and sets me down. She leaves for a few minutes while I sit in the dark office and think to myself. I hate to have to play dead for a while, but I can't afford to have anyone figure out I'm still alive. Miyuki has a lock on the medical team and has informed Julia that my body cannot be seen yet, so I have that road covered. However, the hard part is remaining away from Natsuki and the girls until this is over. Now that I'm dead, the search for this operation's kingpin will be much easier. Okay, so he had to go as far as to fake his own death to just bring Natsuki's dad to justice. I really didn't think he was going to fake his own death, though. It doesn't sound right to me, but I can't help but feel that may be true. So I have to wonder, like, would this really be feasible to do in real life? To just basically pretend like you've lost consciousness after being strangled? How do we get this proof? We look in the Eastern Branch's files. And how do you suppose we do that? Just go up to the mask? Why ask when we just help ourselves? I had received a call from Yuki saying that Julia had gone to the assistant director with the information we'd gathered from our little miniature investigation. Making my way through the labyrinthine halls of the field office, I reach Julia's office and quickly slip inside. Miyuki stands next to Julia's desk, looking both nervous and tired from our endless work over the last couple days. Sit down, Miyuki, before you collapse from exhaustion. It's exhausting acting like I'm perfectly fine around Julia. I haven't slept a wink in a few days. What about you? You don't look tired at all. Oh, I'm fatigued, but I'm more prone to pushing those knees to the side. Jesus. I guess that is what being raised to become a weapon will do to you. Oh, you have no idea. Now all I had to do is wait for Julia to return. All of a sudden, the door flies open and Julia quickly walks in, prompting Miyuki and I to look to her. She looks at Miyuki and then to me quickly before taking a deep breath in. Miyuki, it's her father. What? What? Hideki Obayashi is Matsumoto Keijin, Natsuki's father. He's a 4-digit agent from the Eastern Branch. He's been this entire time. You're kidding. Why is he in here? Oh, that's rude, Jules. Julia's eyes widen and her hands immediately start to shake. Removing the cap from my head, I give Julia a small smirk. Level Engine. You're alive. Thank God. Her embrace on me tightens as she pulls me into her. I can practically feel her despair dissolve as she holds me in her arms. But without a single comment or negative flare, I wrap my arms around her as well. I've really missed you. God, I thought you were gone forever. I can't offer you words of comfort other than I'd miss you too. Did you know about this? Yes, ma'am. She and I have worked together since the incident, and to maintain the atmosphere that was generated, I had to play dead. Unfortunately, you also had to believe I was dead, otherwise you could tip off whoever was behind this. Your demeanor had to be genuine. I see, well, I hate you both for doing that. But it was really smart, so thank you for that. So that bastard was behind all this. My stomach drops and I almost feel nauseous. How many times was I so close to him? To this despicable piece of trash that has been tracking me the entire time. I could have stopped this long ago. None of this would have ever happened if I just ended it when I had the chance. I'm sorry, Natsuki. If I had acted sooner, you wouldn't have to deal with this. The least I can do now is make it right. A burning feeling starts deep within my chest, giving me a new presence of vengeful energy. By the time we finally prepare and get outside, the sun is fully set and the night sky greets us. Julia, Miyuki, and I jog out of the main entrance and down to the concrete steps of the field office. A black SUV pulls up with the back passenger window rolled down. Ma'am, get in, we're ready to go. Just go, I'll be right behind you. As the car speeds off, Miyuki places her hand on my shoulder. You can take my car. It'll be faster than preparing an SUV. Let's do it then. As I follow her, we get into a small two-seater car and drive to Natsuki's house, following the directions I provide. During the pauses between each of my directions, I delve deeper into my mind in contemplation. For the time I've been an agent, I've made a name for myself. I've created a reputation for myself that seems to be more than just a reputation. They call me the Reaper, an entity of vengeance that obliterates any obstacles in its path. Seemingly unable to be killed and unstoppable until it drags you to hell. I never really understood why that connotation's been applied to me. I'm finally beginning to understand my only true purpose in this world is to be the one who drags my enemies to hell. Maybe it's time to embrace the revenant that I am. It'll be the only way I can survive this fight. Hideki is a 4-digit agent, just like I am. 4-digit agents are the agency's top-performing weapons. They are capable of doing anything that was within the scope of their skill set, which makes me a little worried about how it was to transpire. I have no idea how skilled Hideki is or what he could possibly do. What I do know is that Natsuki depends on this. I will not fail her again. Looks like they've already started. Miyuki, I want you to stay in the car. I'll go in and check. Stepping carefully through the doorway, making sure I'm being completely quiet, I peek around a small corner into the living room. The agents that arrive with Julia are collapsed onto the ground, one bleeding profusely from their neck. Scanning the room further, I notice Julia slumped over in a corner of the room. Son of a bitch. Peeking my head around the corner a little further to extend my sight range, I conclude that no one else is in the room with me. Natsuki and Hideki are unaccounted for. Quickly making my way into the living room, I check Julia's pulse, and I find she still has one, weak at best. She must have taken one hell of a beating because she doesn't go down easily. Even I have difficulties when I spar against her. And she's not the only one left. I hear banging upstairs. Quickening my pace up the stairs, I finally reach the top and head toward the noise. Realizing it originated from Natsuki's room, I quickly rush in and find Hideki holding her up by her neck, strangling her. Her tear-filled eyes stare down at me with distress and fear. Alright, it's time. Standing behind Hideki, I wrap my right arm around his throat and throw my weight down while pivoting my hip. The movement causes Hideki to release Natsuki and send him flying over my shoulder. When he hits the ground, he quickly rolls backward to break his fall. He stands back up and looks in my direction, shocked and irritated at my interruption. Oh, I thought we were done with these exceptions. My name isn't Julia Hideki. Level engine! You of all people should know this by now. You don't kill the Reaper that easily. Natsuki sits in the corner of the room. She must be scared and confused by everything happening all at once. From what Miyuki said, Julia told Natsuki I was dead, so this has to be a shock for her. Hideki walks towards me, our gazes meeting each other with unending fury. You and so many others. He eyeballs Natsuki after saying that. She looks quizzically at me, unsure of what to think or feel. I'm aware of the monster I've become, but I am nowhere near your level. How could a father abuse his daughter like you do? You're the monster here, Hideki. Do not talk about your daughter that way. Natsuki is more than important to me. Hideki quickly grabs a lamp that was sitting on Natsuki's bedside table and throws it at me. Throwing my left hand to the side, I block the lamp from hitting me in time to see the man charge directly at me. His shoulder collides into my chest, and the impact from it feels as if I'd just been hit by a truck. Ugh! My body is thrown back against the wall, nearly knocking the wind out of me. Struggling to keep my knee strength, I stand back up and fully catch my breath. Charges at me again. Throwing my left foot out and touching the wall, I kick off and get away just in time. Managing to get behind him before he recovers, I grab hold of his left arm and try to twist it. Once I happen at an angle I can use to my advantage, kneeing him is my only option. Breathing in and out, I shove my right knee directly into his back. Expecting him to recoil and try to get away, I pull his arm to close the distance between us. However, he doesn't recoil or even grunt. He twists his abdomen enough to elbow me in the face with his free arm. Dull yet acute pain permeates my skull, forcing me to let go of Hideki's arm and stumble backward. Unable to react quickly enough, he grabs my head with both of his hands and throws me down toward an incoming knee. Shit. If he manages to hit me with that, I'm going to lose consciousness for sure. At the final second, I cock my neck to the left, forcing my upper chest to take the brunt of the blow. Wrapping my hands around his leg, now free for me to control, I push forward to throw off his balance. If I can get him to the ground, I can destroy his kneecap and immobilize him. Sensing something above me, I feel a crushing blow to the center of my back that almost caused my body to go limp. He's slamming his elbow directly onto my spine. Forcing my body to ignore the pain, I shove myself forward quickly enough to wrap my arms around Hideki's back. Kicking my other knee against his groin, I shove him backward and into the wall. It's much harder than you expect. I have to avoid taking hits as much as possible. If he manages to land a nicely placed shot, I will lose consciousness and that'll be the end. It isn't like I can be quick either. He hits hard and just as fast as I am. Level Engine, are you okay? Natsuki's scared voice cracks from the corner of the room. Don't worry about me. I want you to get out of here. It isn't safe. But I can't just leave you. Natsuki, if I lose this fight and you're still here, you will die. So do as I say. Run! Hideki looks at her and gives me the opportunity to strike. Grabbing a book off of one of Natsuki's shoves, I throw it at him and hit him directly in the face. You threw a goddamn lamp at me! We both charge to each other and start throwing hooks and jabs, barely missing each other with each attempt. I fake a kick, and when he reacts, I slam my elbow opposite to him against his temple. Wrapping my arm around his neck and positioning him in a lock, I start to barrage him with a frenzied knee to the stomach. But he manages to lift me off to the ground with just his upper body, while he is still in the headlock. He runs as fast as he can to the wall behind me, slamming into it. Damn. Now he has me pinned to the wall. My lock doesn't hold up due to the sudden attack on my body. Hideki easily slides out and throws a dominant fist onto my face. I manage to catch his next swing with my hand and barely save myself. Hideki grits his teeth and tries to pull his hand away to ready another strike. But keeping his grip on his fist, I raise my knees and plant both of my feet solidly against his chest. Taking a deep breath in and out, I push against it with every ounce of strength. After dropping to the floor, I roll out of his way as he gets back up. Damn it. I'm getting much more tired than I can really stand right now. We both share a minute of solid but tense sounds as we breathe to catch ourselves up. He looks as if he's winded too, so at least I know I'm making progress. But I'm losing energy too much to keep this going. Nah, I'm fine. What about you, old man? Well, sorry to break your heart, but I don't have this sort of time. He fakes to the left and charges me from the right, colliding into me and pushing me towards the window. We manage to lock arms and push against each other to the point that we're matched. I'm not moving any further back, but neither is he. But he takes his hand off my shoulders and wraps his arm around mine. He's going to break my arms. I have to abort. Letting go of him just in time, my arms slip out of his grip, thus sparing them, but allowing him to take advantage. I take another extremely hard impact against my face, and I lose all the footing I had to defend myself. He uses his body weight to shove me closer to the window, opening himself up to an uppercut. Using the majority of my strength, I slam my fist against the other side of his chin. His head cocks up abnormally, and he loses his footing for a second, nearly falling onto me. I'm unable to anticipate him kneeing in the stomach and knocking the wind out of me. My body still in shock and struggling to breathe, he wraps his hand around my throat and pushes me against the open window. Ugh. Alright, this isn't good. He planned this entire thing out. He purposely waited for me to attack, then knocked the wind out of me so he could finish me off easier. I can barely move. I'm pushed against the lower half of the windowsill, so any chance of moving is null. He pushes further towards the window, causing my back to arch outside. Ugh. He's got me pinned. I can't allow myself to fall out the window. His grip on me in the sudden weight change will snap my neck, and I can't fight back since I'm out of his reach. I try to slam my elbow against his arms to break his wrists, but that does nothing except expend the energy I need to think. Damn it, come on, level engine, think. If this is how I'm going to go out, I might as well glare him to death. Yeah, that's right, Hideki. I'll kill you with my eyes. That's the least I can do. His eyes widen and he lets go of me. My body forcing itself to take a breath. I start to cough profusely, unable to gain control of my breathing. Glancing out of the corner of my eye, I see Hideki reach towards his back. He turns and I notice something that both relieves and terrifies me. Natsuki has jumped onto her father's back and is digging her nails and teeth into him. And her small stature works out for her in this circumstance too, as Hideki is barely able to reach her. She saved my life. You're goddamn crazy, Natsuki. I continue to cough while trying to move, but my body sucks in so much air at a time that it makes it hard for me to focus. Natsuki practically growls as she attacks her father. Trying to focus and perform my breathing exercise again, I start to feel the fuzziness in my head dissipate. But unfortunately, as I finally regain my composure and turn to face the beast in front of me, Hideki has managed to grab Natsuki's throat, ripping her off his back. He angles his hips and pivots his abdomen, throwing Natsuki against the wall by only her throat. Natsuki! Her body falls to the floor. Hideki looks at me, finally finished with her song and dance. Natsuki remains unmoving on the floor, instantly sending a hot wave of entirely new anger through my veins. That is it. I watched the woman I love get hurt for the last time. It's because of me that she could be dead. Do not continue that thought level engine. Destroy him. Look at him. Do not allow him to survive this. He's just like your father. Slaughter him. Without making so much as a single sound, I throw my weight down to my knees and launch myself at Hideki. Catching him just as he pushes his glasses up his nose, I throw my right fist into his cheek. Using that momentum, I spin myself around and bring my elbow down to his skull. How many undefined variables are there in this script anyways? He grunts and falls onto his back. Climbing onto him, I wrap both my hands around his neck and start to squeeze him with every last fiber of my being. His throat abnormally contorts inward as my fingers pry the life from his body. It's the same H name that's not defined apparently everywhere. Something slams on the side of my head, knocking me to the side and stunning me. Placing my left hand on the source of the pain, I feel a warm sensation run down my finger. Pulling it away, I see there's a bead of blood covering it. Shattered remnants of a ceramic lamp lie around me and Hideki. He shovels back to his feet and I do the same. Damn, that hurts. The constantly tinkling ache from my skull makes my left eye wince, inhibiting my vision. After stabilizing myself, I stare him directly in his eyes while he dusts his white dress shirt off. Wiping my bloody hand on my shirt, I grip it back into a fist to reassure myself. It's not too uncommon, but after receiving a pretty heavy blow to the head as I have, some find it hard to fully regain the strength on some of their limbs. Taking one deep breath in, I charge at Hideki. Narrowly ducking under his fist, I slam mine into the side of his head. But he grabs onto my wrist and begins to throw me over his shoulder. He manages to grab hold of me and now has me over his head. Okay, I think I know what's going on. I think H name is supposed to be like some sort of reference, some sort of variable where like the father's name, like the string Hideki is stored. But this variable apparently wasn't initialized anywhere, but is being referenced every time Hideki tries to say something, but it's being cut off. So every time Hideki tries to say something, because this variable was not initialized, there's an exception. Every single line of dialogue Hideki would have said, up to the point where he started raping his own daughter and then tried to strangle the life out of her up till now. It just gave you this exception. I think like something forgot to be initialized. Gah? An electrical shock shoots up my back and across my body. I can barely comprehend what just happened. I can barely feel anything. As the world phases back on my perception, an intense aching pain originates from my back. Hideki slammed my back onto his knee in an attempt to break my spine. But judging from the fact that I can feel his pain and move my fingers, it didn't hit hard enough to break anything. He pushes me off of his knee and down to the floor. Or I need to get up and keep fighting. I can't just lie here on the floor like this. He grabs onto my hair and my shirt, pulling me up to eye level with him. Yeah, every time he's about to go and say something, we have this exception and we can't actually see what he's saying. So I don't necessarily know what I'm responding to when I say born and raised. He readies another fist. I try to catch it with my hand, only to fail and slightly block his impact. Feeling more and more strengthly in my body, I go slightly limp in his grasp. Damn it. My plan won't work at this point. He's already beaten the hell out of me to the point of near unconsciousness. I'm so tired. I can barely bring myself to make a fist anymore. No. I force myself to make another fist. I can't let her down. Cocking my head to an angle where I can comfortably see Natsuki, my eyes widen. Natsuki isn't there! What? Hideki lets go of me. I land down on my feet. Looking behind Hideki's right shoulder, I can see Natsuki standing next to the door, panicked, holding a handgun shakily in her hands. Natsuki? He tries to stand back up. His face turns white as soon as he touches his wound. Accepting the opportunity that has befallen me, I stand myself back up quicker than Hideki can, and then elbow him to the side. He stumbles to the side and I dash towards Natsuki. Natsuki, give me the gun! Hideki is recovered and coming right for us. Quickly reaching the gun and Natsuki, I pull her close to my chest and point the gun at the tyrant approaching. The round whips through his chest and impacts him hard enough to make him stumble. Slightly moving away from Natsuki, I kick her father in the chest and bring him to his knees. Pointing the barrel of the gun down at his head, he looks back up at me in shock and fear in his eyes. You brought this on yourself, Hideki. You've toyed with an innocent girl's life, putting her through horrible conditions and atrocities, all for your own gain. You're no father. A father wouldn't do any of this. When I have a daughter of my own, I will not become the monster you or my father were. Natsuki remains close to my side, watching the coming circumstances. Natsuki's grip on me instantly tightens, assuring me that she regrets hearing very deeply. If I give the gun to Natsuki, it's going to make her decide whether or not to kill her own father. That isn't a decision anyone would be ready to take at that moment, regardless of who their father was. Natsuki is still a girl and fragile at that. This decision would weigh too heavily upon her. Plus, if she kills him, it could lead to her becoming a monster like myself. She doesn't deserve that. So to protect Natsuki from the burden of this choice, I will take it for her and make this decision. No, Hideki. I am going to be the one who decides what to do with you. Huh? I'm not going to let her live with the weight of this decision bearing down on her for the rest of her life. I try to contemplate what to do with him. After all, he's Natsuki's father, but she isn't safe around him. He's caused her more pain than she'll ever know. He's become a severe threat to myself in the Central Branch. He's a 4-digit agent from the company, so killing him won't go over well with relations between the branches. If I take him into the agency, Central Branch can do what they need to bring justice to him. But if he remains alive and something happens, it could spell trouble for Natsuki and I. Damn it. Do I really keep someone as horrible as him alive? Or do I end everything right here and face the consequences later? He's been nothing but trouble for you and Natsuki. He's raped her, beaten her, starved her, tried to murder her, and most of all, he's like your father. If you had a gun to your own father's head right now and this was him, you'd pull the trigger without warning. Hideki Obayashi is just like your father, Love Lungeon. Do it. Kill him. Honestly, let's just see both choices regardless. No, I want to kill him. Give me one good reason why I should let you live. And we're not going to get to see what that reason is because we still keep getting exceptions. 4 exceptions in a row. I pull her head into my chest so she can't see what's about to happen. It's over. So, is this the... I'm gonna guess this is the bad ending still. I'm gonna guess this is the bad ending. I mean, we did kill the guy. I think not killing him's probably gonna end up going better than this, but... I hate the guy so much that I'm not hesitant to pull the trigger at all. Yeah, if he's tried to just kill someone you love, tried to kill you, like... Of course, just pull the trigger. You should have every right to defend yourself and, like, the people you love. So much has happened I can barely keep up with it. I mean, earlier today at school I was told you had died. And then my dad tries to kill me. Random people show up to my house, call my dad a different name, and then you show up out of nowhere. My dad called you a killer. I just don't really know what to think right now. I make eye contact with her and back to Natsuki. You deserve an explanation. I prepare myself for the massive info dump. Natsuki, your father changed his identity when you were extremely young. His real name is Hideki Obayashi, but he had to change it to hide his real identity. With that, he had also some of your records doctored to mitigate suspicion. What? Why would he do something like that? I know it was effective in throwing off investigation. What do you mean, investigation? Well, ever since I met you and learned about the home situation you dealt with every day, I told myself I was going to protect you from it. But I didn't know how to. He was your father. After you admitted to the hospital, I met your father and had a very strange feeling about him. A feeling of familiarity that is hard to explain. Turns out Matsumoto had no records at all in the public database. Almost like they were deleted to make him blend in with everyone else around him. So out of courtesy, I paused and gave her some time. But how'd you do any of that? That's where I was eventually going to lead. Natsuki, do you remember what I told you about my job? That's a front I tell people. What your father said about me was right. I do kill people. I'm an agent for an organization I can't tell anyone anything about. I'm asked to do specific tasks and I follow through with them as I was trained to. Like an assassin? Poor choice of words, but yeah. For your safety, of course. But it turns out your father was employed by my organization and had extensive connections as a result. He knew that I was an agent shortly after we met, and he attempted to have me killed multiple times. What? The most recent time was nearly strangled to death. I barely managed to survive. But since I survived, it opened up an opportunity for Julia, especially under the guise that I was dead. So Julia lied to me? Not really. This entire time, she was under the impression I was dead. It's not nice to leave a girl feeling like that. I take my right arm and wrap it around her. What matters is that I'm alive now and you're safe. She rests her head against my shoulder and grips tightly onto my hand, our fingers intertwined. I'm sorry I didn't stop this sooner, Natsuki. That's something I'm always going to regret. Love Lenshin, you dummy. You acted very immaturely through all of this. It's something I really like about you. Even though you're upset near the breaking point, you kept your cool and remained the bigger man. You did everything you could to help me, and you have no idea how much I value that. And after all, you did keep your promise. You did save me. Red and blue lights shine over us as police and paramedics speed down the street. So I'm gonna guess my guy's gonna get arrested for murder or something still. Natsuki didn't receive any substantial injuries, so she's cleared. Julia is diagnosed with a grade 3 concussion, but more serious than that. I have several sprained bones, a minor concussion, a broken rib, and a few muscles have been torn in my back. After being discharged from the hospital, Miyuki offers to drive Julia, Natsuki, and I home since Julia's concussion impairs her from driving. Natsuki and I sit in the back of the car while Julia sits in the front. Our fingers intertwine. Natsuki looks over at me and rests her head on my shoulder again. The image of how scared she was when she shot that handgun resonates through my mind over and over again. It was the face of someone who wasn't ever meant to harm, bringing harm to someone. Natsuki is a sweet and gentle girl. I know what she did is going to stay with her for a while, but I'll do anything to keep that from affecting her. Everything okay? Yeah, I'm just thinking. You look stressed. Is there more than that is happening you're not telling me? Both of us exchanging glares that say, you know what's going to happen because of this. I'm sorry I had the fire gun tonight. I did what I could to save you, and I'm very proud of you for it. You were quiet about it, too. Well, I'm not going to lie to you. When my dad threw me into the wall, I thought I'd broken my neck. It hurt to move and it hurt to breathe. I thought I was going to die. But I saw how much you were trying for me, and I felt I had to try for you too, so I managed to crawl out of the room quickly and run downstairs. I grabbed a gun and shot him to get him off of you. I'll make sure you don't have to do that ever again. With a comforting and soothing silence, I lean my head back and glance out the window. Let's talk about the problems that are going to come from this. I spoke to the assistant director a little bit ago, and it turns out that the Eastern Branch is denying all responsibility for Hideki's actions, as I would expect them to. However, they are extremely unhappy with the fact that agents from our branch did some snooping around in theirs, accessed their information, and killed a retired agent when we could have brought him in. And since he was killed, they are demanding reparations. I had the opportunity to make that choice earlier. You made the decision you felt was best. I fully respect and understand it. You did good. Thank you, Julia. We're finally home. What a long week. I grab Natsuki's hand and wave to Julia and Miyuki while they pull out of the driveway. Opening my front door, I make sure to scan every corner, every shadow, every inch of my house that I can see. Once I am very certain we're okay, we both walk inside. Immediately, we both walk up the stairs and into my room. A white box sits on my desk that I've been looking for quite a bit. Miyuki did me a favor when she and Julia retrieved some of my things after my quote-unquote death. I take the box and walk out of my bedroom with it. Returning to my bedroom, I place my hands against my back and try to stretch and alleviate the lingering tension that strains my muscles. Hey, you're more than welcome to have the shower to yourself first. I have to take care of a few things before I can shower anyway. Alright, good, because I really need one. Especially after tonight. Natsuki shudders and grabs a change of clothes from a prepared box we took with us. The box contains necessities like clothes, female amenities, and personal belongings. One thing in specific catches my eye as she leaves the bedroom. Thank you for taking care of her while I was gone, Suika. I knew I could count on you. Moving over to my closet. I open it and sift around for a change of clothes myself. My bloody, dirty, and torn clothes have now reached their end. After picking out acceptable clothes that would fit Natsuki's standards for myself, I hear the water turn on in the bathroom. Well, look at you. Did you get these for me? Yeah, I was planning on surprising you with them later on, but well, you know what happened. I love them! The fabric is so soft and the pattern's my favorite. Huh, I thought so. You look adorable in them. What did you just say? I said, you look adorable in them. Do you want to get smacked? I'm not too exhausted to take you on. Heh. Mentally marking where I am in my book, I close the cover quickly and place it on my desk. If you'll excuse me, I'm going to take my shower now. You should lie down and get some rest. That sounds like heaven right now. You don't know what kind of day I've had. I can only imagine, sweetheart. You won't be having those kinds of days anymore. I love you too, Natsuki. Now go take your shower, you stink. I'll be out in a few. I'm different now. This is the face of a killer. The face of a kid raised to be a monster that can force himself past the moral and mental restrictions on murder. The fact of the matter is that everything's over now. Natsuki is safe, and that's all that matters. To me, at least. Stepping into the shower, I allow the hot water to run down my tired body and imbue it with relaxation. As I close the curtain, I notice the white box I placed here earlier for Natsuki. I got her those pajamas because I knew she would love them, which she does. Seeing her happy and comfortable in them gives me a renewed sense of peace. I guess the fact she can now relax without being in constant fear eases my mind. If anyone deserves it, it's her. She's had to deal with unimaginable fear and desperation because of a man who wasn't qualified to call himself her father. Finish my shower in a quiet peace. I just want to see if our guy gets arrested or not. Alright. I guess I'll just let go of the fact that an angel, just kissed me. Keep this act up and you won't get any more! Smirking, I lift myself from the bed and turn off the light. Would you prefer I slept on the couch downstairs? I would actually prefer if you slept right here with me. It would make me feel safer. Of course. Natsuki looks like she can finally rest peacefully for once, and I'm glad I can make that happen for her. And I promise, from this day forward, she won't have to deal with the hell she put up for ever so long again. Natsuki's eyes finally close as she slips into sleep. She smiles. My final thoughts before drifting into unconsciousness fall back to the consequences of Hideki dying. There are going to be a lot of further battles ahead with the Eastern Branch as a result of my decision, but I'll be ready for whatever comes next. Oh, so we're not going to figure out exactly what these consequences are. It kind of just ends on a happy note. I was thinking my guy was going to get arrested or something. Alright, relations over. MC's a murderer. He's got to go to jail. But no, it actually worked out. I thought killing him was going to be the bad ending. Even though I just felt so good about actually, well, killing him. That came out a little awkward, but if you just actually followed through the whole story, you get the point. It would make sense with the context, of course. And then there's still the other choice to make, to have him not killed. And what, would that be the bad ending, to just leave him alive? We leave him alive, he escapes from custody, and then he kills Natsuki or kills MC, and then we get the bad ending. I'm tempted to actually just quickly fast forward and see if that's the case. Inspired by, yeah, the Fruit of Grisaya, which I brought up earlier. Hence the title Fruits of the Literature Club and even the logo. That just looks so much like the Fruits of Grisaya logo anyways. So if we let him live, what happens? Don't pull the trigger. What happens if we don't kill him? As much as I hate him, I can't bring myself to kill the father of the girl I love. I'm not gonna kill you, Hideki. Couldn't have said it better myself. Our people will decide where you go and how you suffer. Everything you've done, you had it coming to you. You're one enemy I will not drag to hell with me. So how does this end? I think I'm just going to quickly fast forward until we get to the conclusion that... Wait, what happened? Did I just get shot or something? Authorities responded to the sound of gunshots in a residential neighborhood. Okay, let me rewind. I probably just skipped past something really important. Don't pull the trigger. If I leave him alive, I'm not going to kill you. Footsteps echo up the stairs, drawing everyone's attention. A familiar face peers into the room. Level engine, I heard gunshots. Miyuki? Becoming completely blindsided by Miyuki's sudden entrance, I don't take notice of Hideki reaching for me. By the time I notice, it's too late. He grabs a hold of the gun, twists my wrist, and takes control of the firearm. Level engine! No, god damn it! He places the gun's barrel into my chin. Okay, so killing him actually gave us the good ending. I thought for sure it was going to be the other way around. So you're supposed to kill him! Level engine, Julia, and Miyuki were all pronounced dead at the scene from gunshot wounds to the head. Hideki and Natsuki were never found. Oh, so you're supposed to kill him to get the good ending. And then it just ends. I thought for sure it was going to be the other way around. Right, so basically, thanks for watching, whoever did. And then there's still like a whole Monica route that's... Whoops. There's still also a Monica route that's actually not finished yet. Can I get back to the main menu? Select chapter. Select chapter. Yeah, there's still a Monica route that's apparently not finished yet. So I could maybe just wait on that to get complete and maybe start up some other Doki Doki mod or maybe some other visual novel in the meantime.